Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 3 of the relaunch of Gaming After Dark. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. It's Noof Nukem in the room, and welcome to all the amazing people in the chat. We'll catch up with you in just a moment, but we're going to have a dynamite show for you. The first good news is the one, the only Proto Foxy is back again with us this week after falling ill and missing last week. Sounds like he's ready to go and ready to rock. What's going on, Proto?
Hell yeah, everybody, I'm back. I got over my damn warehouse plague that I fucking caught, and now I'm here to just chat it up. So let's fucking go. I'm ready to do it, Noof.
He sounds like he's ready to bring it tonight. And as always, I'm bringing it each and every time we have him on here. Of course, he is our other panel member, the fantastic, the always man who wears the shades. We're talking about the game Complainerz, a.k.a. Perry is in the house. Garfield representing.
There he is. Thanks for having me again, Noof. I mean, I know I'm a panel member, but still, I can't believe
you're a panel member. I hope you're going to be here as much as you can be.
Yeah.
Within reason. I expect there will always be a few weeks when people can't make it. I mean, heck, I won't be here next week. Will be no show next week. I'll get that out of the way because I'm going to be in Niagara Falls, Canada. And if all goes well, maybe me and Mag might just fire up a little something and pop by and say hello to everybody, because I'm sure everybody's wondering what the Mag and Noof Nukem would get up to when we're hanging out. So we'll see how that goes next week. All right, very excited as well to finally introduce I guess he's been a fan of the show, fan of the podcast for quite some time. He's lingered around my shows, known as the King for many years. And as always, I appreciate the support. And when people say to me, Noof, I'd happily join you on a show sometime, it's hard to say no because, hey, we all get our start somewhere. And I'm pleased to announce one half of the fighting duo. We got Batman in the house.
What's up, everybody?
Well, at least he picked a good superhero. Thank God.
Yes, he did.
Yes. I thought he was going to pick somebody weird. I don't know. Batman is pretty cool. I don't know anybody does not like Batman.
Depends on the Batman.
Well, yeah, that's true. It depends on which version of Batman, because there has been a couple of weird ones. I can tell you this: when I was a kid growing up, I was always primarily a Spider-Man kid. But as I grew older, I actually became a Batman fan. And you know why Batman started to resonate more with me? It was simply because I realized that Batman had no superpowers. That Batman was just a well-trained multi-millionaire that obviously had vulnerabilities and different things and struggled with his own demons. And to me, I could identify because he literally could be any one of us, mind you, if we were in better shape and had tons of money. You know what I mean? So I kind of always liked that about Batman. He's more realistic, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah, for sure. See, for me, it was always Batman, and then it was the Punisher.
I got to find out with this panel and from Batman himself, since he's here. I got to find out from you guys. I want to know from all the Batman movies, who was your favorite Batman and who was your least favorite Batman? Start with you, Proto.
My least favorite, I would have to say, is probably George Clooney. Even though his part, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the last Flash film, I actually kind of got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
But Clooney sucked.
That was funny.
Well, that whole movie was just cheese.
Oh my God, bat nipples. That's all I gotta say. And then, and this is gonna sound cliche as fuck, but to be honest with you, I actually prefer Christian Bale. I love the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. I thought that was probably like peak Batman, even though you can't discount Michael Keaton. But I just felt that entire Nolan trilogy was just peak.
Joe Dunmore in the chat. He says he didn't like Val Kilmer. We got Doug 2001. Michael Keaton is the GOAT. George Clooney is worse. So far, we got 3 people hating George Clooney, it looks like. How about you, Mr. Game Complainers? Favorite Batman and least favorite Batman?
Hands down, Michael Keaton. Least favorite. I haven't seen the new ones yet. I haven't seen the ones with Ben Affleck or Robert Pattinson or Patterson.
You haven't seen any of the Batman with
I had them on 4K. I bought them when they went on sale for like $10, but I haven't watched them yet.
Holy shit! You gotta get on top of that.
Yeah, I mean they're not bad. I won't give nothing away. They're not bad.
Right.
but I've seen better. I think I actually like Pattinson's Batman film. I think it was called The Batman, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I think I like that more because it had more of a noir kind of feel to it.
Right.
You know, and then with Ben Affleck, that was just your basic over the top cheese. So
Batman's friend of the chat, Jelly Rolson, says Michael Keaton was the best. Ben Affleck was the worst. That's interesting. And curious to know. So So you said Michael Keaton was your favorite, Perry, and who was your worst again?
The worst, I'll be honest, I did like Val Kilmer and Batman Forever. I thought that was a really good movie back in the day.
Okay.
George Clooney, he's all right. Out of the ones I've seen, he's got to probably be the worst for now.
Yeah, I
until
think there's
watch
just
the other
something
ones.
super corny about George Clooney. You know what I mean?
You know what it was? They cast him because back in the day they were looking for like a popular guy to be Batman. And at the time, like George Clooney was very popular with ER and all that stuff. So they cast him, and the movie was just not. It was just dumbed down for children, and it was just bad.
Yeah, it was even worse than a cartoon kind of deal. Like it was just like and as much as I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, like just trying to listen to all his one-liners was like, oh
let's kick some ice.
Arnold got top billing too. That's very telling.
Top billing, yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the man whose name is Batman. Who was your favorite and who was your least favorite? Curious to know.
Michael Keaton's. He was the bomb in The Flash.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Keaton was awesome. I'm glad that was the whole reason I watched The Flash, because of Keaton.
Right.
Pink Pig.
I don't know. I didn't
hating on the bat nibbles.
Everybody hates the bat nibbles.
Where was Batgirl's bat nibbles? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean the wasn't enough.
Making everybody think now. Where's Alicia Silverstone's nipples pointing out? Huh?
Well, they're probably sagging down at this point.
Yeah, they're underneath her boots. Who was your least favorite Batman? Batman?
I know he's not live action, but the new guy that came out in the Cape Crusader cartoon, he's kind of a letdown. I think Kevin Conroy is still the definitive, cartoon and video game voice.
Series?
Yeah.
Yeah, I only watched about 10 minutes of that when when I found out they race swapped all the fucking characters again, I turned it off and said, "Yep, I'm done. I'm out. Sorry. No, nobody's asking for that shit." Like, go make a fucking new series, man, if you're gonna do that shit. Oh man, I hate that crap. And as for me, I'll make it quick and simple. Quite simply, my worst was, yes, George Clooney. He was corny. He was tacky. He did not look good in the suit, and he did not make a good Bruce Wayne. And I think the best one has to be, I'm going to go with Proto Foxy, man. There was just something about Christopher Nolan's authentic, realistic Batman. Christian Bale, I thought, pulled off both roles equally well. And this is no slight on Michael Keaton, because Michael Keaton was my GOAT for a long time. But it was just something about the visceral nature of that version of Batman that I liked. He was just the believability, the suit, the way they did the tumbler, everything. I mean, even having Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. I mean, the casting was impeccable for those movies. The Heath Ledger, and of course Tom Hardy as Bane. I mean, my God. I mean, even Tom Hardy. Look how much muscle he put on to play Bane. Like everybody just. I was even skeptical of watching him play Catwoman, but she was hot as frig. Like, oh my God. Like, that was awesome, So I'm going to say Christian Bale. I just love Christian Bale. I love his movies, period. I think he's awesome in everything he acts in. And again, like, commitment to the role. Christian Bale put on 40 or 50 pounds of muscle, then lost it all and played that weird guy in The Machinist.
Yeah.
That lost all the weight and had to gain it all back again. It was like, that's insane, man. That's insane.
It is.
That stuff they put themselves through to play a role. All right, but anyway, enough about the Batman movies and stuff. We're going to get right into the topics, but before we do, let's give a shout out to this amazing chat because we got the who's who, including Doggy Dog 420 is back in the chat after a week hiatus. Good to see Doggy Dog in the building. What's happening, my brother? Woof woof. It's good to see Doggy Dog here. We've also got, like I said, Joe Dunmore is hanging out with us. We got the network in the house. We got Jelly Ralston is here supporting Batman. So maybe she's like Catwoman or something. She's here to support. We've got Doug 2001. What's going on, Doug? Pink Piggles hanging out with us as well. Always good to see Pink in the house. We got Anthony L hanging out with us. We got Matty Burns. Good to see good old Matty in the house. We've got my good buddy Iceman LMH, one fantastic dude to play games with, by the way. Tip Top Dalton is hanging out with us. Talos Ray in the building. Good to see Talos. We've got, like I said, Joe Dunmore is here. Who else? Did I miss any? We got MILF Man. The best name in the house tonight is the MILF Man. MILF Man and Batman hanging out together. Right about that. We got Sir X-Man. We got a lot of mans in here tonight. Slendy is in the house. Good to see Slendy here. What's up, brother? And we got Fazaz. We got Fred and Frank in here. That's good. We got all the boys in here tonight. That's awesome. We got Easy Thunder, Wrestling Journey. What's happening, Easy Thunder? Yeah, we got some great people in the chat tonight. Awesome. Thanks for being here, guys. All right, let's get down to the show, shall we? Just real quick, what's everybody been playing this past week? Any games stick out in particular, Proto?
You know what I'm going to say at this point because I'm working on 200 hours now, Warframe.
You're not playing Force Simulator? That's good.
What's that? I missed that one. You cut out.
Simulator?
Oh, that's on the back burner right now. I'm really dedicating my time to Warframe.
Roll it up, roll it down, roll it up, roll it down.
Yep. But yeah, that's just what I've been dumping my time into. It's got me hooked.
Nice. How about you, Perry? What you've been playing a shit ton of stuff because you've been streaming stuff too. But what's been really sticking out the most?
I've been playing Silent Hill 2, and it's been driving me crazy. So
driving you nuts, eh?
Yeah.
Is it all that fog?
No, it's you keep getting lost. I keep pulling a map out, and yeah, that's pretty much Silent Hill 2.
So it's faithful, is what you're saying.
I guess. I played the original for like maybe 10 minutes, but I never like beat the whole game. I'm more of a Resident Evil guy.
Oh, right. Same here. But I did.
This one is just, dude, I'm getting lost all over the place. I ran around for 40 minutes the other day, screaming and yelling on stream. The chat room's trying to help me and everything, and it was like, oh man, like, do I really want to play this game anymore?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than backtracking over and over again, and then by the time you figure it out, you most of the time it's like, fuck, it was right in front of me the first time.
Yeah, I think this game is more like you need to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a physicist, a chemist. You need to know all this stuff just to play this stupid game.
God dang.
So, I'm like 7 hours away from the end, so I'm gonna have to power through it and just,
hope he doesn't say
scream and yell and all that. So
can't stand adding anything. How about you, Batman? What you been playing?
Retro games, Conker's Bad Fur Day, old super Star Wars, Marvel's Capcom collection, just old stuff.
Go.
Nothing wrong with the old stuff, brother. You know the best thing with old stuff.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. That is like fucking legendary. I fucking love that game.
Yep. It's old, but it never gets old, if that makes any sense.
Oh, absolutely not.
Thanks for the subscription, Jelly Ralston. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. We're about to get into some hot topics, and if you're not familiar with this show, first things first, this is an R-rated show. Our humor can get very off the hook sometimes, and we're not afraid to drop some F-bombs and other bombs and everything else along with it. So there's sometimes some language and certainly some sexual innuendo. And as well, when I bring out my special cast of characters at the end of the show, some of the questions dive into some pretty dark areas. And I'm talking about Cletus Dunmore, and I'm talking about Serious Safe House Sam, and I'm talking about Arnold, and who knows? Maybe what's his name will come back at some point in time.
Put the kids to bed, take your pants off, and have a drink because it's about to be a ride.
Yeah. See, I'm right there with Fazal. Extra should bring back Conquer.
Yep.
Oh, wait. They don't care about any of the IPs they buy. No, they just care about free-to-play shit and 5 billion Game Pass subscriptions. But, let's not build any of the fucking games that the real fans have been asking for the last fucking 10 years.
Exactly.
Sitting on a gold mine. They might not sell 50 million. Like, at this point, does it matter if it sells 5 million or 10 million? Just fucking make some games. That's what you have Game Pass for, isn't it?
Right.
Make some fucking games. It can't be doing any worse than Hellblade 2, and you spent a fucking shit ton of money on that.
Thank you.
Right, exactly.
That's all we've been saying on my show.
Dead already. Did anybody in the chat? Seriously, I want to know. Put a number 1 in the chat if you actually went and bought a copy of Hellblade or even played it all the way through at this point. I bought the damn thing. I would have bought it on disc. I'll still buy it on disc if it comes out on disc. But I bought a fucking physical copy of it, Game Pass or not. I bought the damn thing. So I did my part. Enjoyed the game, but yeah, it was a little disappointing. Anybody? Any ones in the chat? X-Man with a 1.
We got one, Sir X-Man. We got one.
Sir X-Man at least played it. Don't feel shy if you didn't. I mean, fuck, nobody can buy and play every fucking game that's out there. But, it was like literally, the only fucking game that Xbox basically put out this year.
Yeah, pretty much. It's one of them ones that's going to...
biggest game of the year. Right? There you go. We got a 1. We got another one.
Yep, we got 3.
We got a couple of ones in there. Yeah, we got another one. Woo-hoo. See, this is what I'm talking about, though, right? But my point is made, right? That took all those years, all that money, and the game comes out, and there was and anybody else noticed there was next to no marketing with this game?
Oh, absolutely not. They were hoping that all their Twitter stands would fucking do it for them.
Marketing. What's marketing?
Walmart, you certainly don't see a poster or nothing about Hellblade. Does anybody even know? How do you market a game? People don't even know who the fuck she is.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
My Walmart is getting rid of physical media. It's kind of sad.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, he said his Walmart's getting rid of physical media. That's just
They were cleaning up my Walmart cabinet the other day, especially the Xbox side. It's getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer.
Yeah.
Wish my waistline would get as slim as the Xbox cabinet. Fucking me.
Shit. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
It's fucking sad, man. It's sad. Remember we used to have midnight launches, and now the only thing you're launching at midnight is probably a Scud missile in your toilet, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking sad. How did we get to this point? It's sad. I mean, maybe I'm just an old school fossil. I don't know, but I miss that shit, man. I really miss it. I'd go do one right now if it was a midnight launch.
Yeah, the midnight launches and all that shit. I remember being, so some of my best nights was being in line at GameStop, getting whatever game I was getting at midnight, and then coming home and then playing that till 4 in the fucking morning. I miss those fucking days.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but man, just some of the stuff that's happening, especially surrounding Microsoft, just makes me shake my head. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I really don't.
Yeah. I remember when GameStop used to have they would let you play the game, for the midnight thing. They had little tournaments and let you play the game.
Right.
They had stuff like that back in.
All that shit. And then Joe Dunmore says it best. The Illuminati has better marketing than the Xbox. Yeah, you're damn right, man. You're damn right.
Yeah. Well, apparently they got Call of Duty Black Ops posters somewhere. It's up on top of a fucking big building in Europe or some fucking thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been seeing some of that here and there. Yeah, but that's Call of Duty. You knew that was going to happen. You can't just chalk that up. I mean, yeah, Microsoft owns it now, but you can't. That's the juggernaut. You can't.
The thing I was expecting to see commercials and stuff everywhere of Call of Duty on Game Pass. Isn't that kind of the whole reason they bought this fucking shit?
I mean, you would think, right? But it's the market. The marketing even for that is pretty just
week, doesn't it? The 25th or something.
Yeah, it's real damn soon. Was it November? I can't remember now. So somebody in the chat, please correct me. I thought it was November.
I'm pretty sure it was October 25th. I think it's on a Friday or something.
Oh, maybe
Call of Duty's this month. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe thinking of something next
they've
month.
notoriously launched it right alongside of Veterans Day, Remembrance Day kind of thing, but I think they've moved it up the last couple of years.
You know what? You're probably right about that. I can't think. I'm drawing a blank now.
By the way, everybody in the chat, how is our audio sounding to everybody in the chat? Is it too loud, too low? Because on my end, I can barely hear the boys chatting at all. So I think I got some headphone issues or some fucking thing going on here. But yeah, just let us know in the chat if it's good or if it's bad. Just say good or bad audio. We do have a super chat to get to, and I'm going to get to it right now before we go any further. It comes in from our good friend Doggy Dog 420, who we hope to have on the show at some point in time. Go ahead, Mr. Game Complainers. You are the honorary reader here.
Gaming After Dark time, new panel chat. What's that? Punch Heart.
Fist pump. Come on, Perry. I want to hear that. Woo, come on.
Woo! Woo!
That's it. You're a wrestling guy. You know how to do that, Ric Flair. Woo!
But I'm not Ric Flair.
If I had my camera on, I'd strut in front of the camera.
Okay, so Doug says it's good. Dark Zone says it's good. Thanks again for being here, guys, in the chat. All right. Anyway, enough about the mark, enough about the shenanigans. I don't want this to become a constant we're the guys that shit on Xbox podcast. Because I mean, I love Xbox, and I think the majority of us know that, like, a lot of us here are Xbox fans. We love Xbox. We've been through the thick and the thin. We've had every console. There's lots of positives out there as well, and I'm sure at some point in time.
Can I say something real quick about that? Here's the thing. We're not crapping on Xbox because we hate Xbox. We want Xbox to do better. And the decisions that they've been making this entire year since January, as fans of the brand, we're like, what are you guys doing? Now, there's going to be fans that they're going to eat everything up that they do, and they're going to love them, and that's fine. You can love the console, you can love the brand, whatever. We're not taking that away from anybody. But the hardcores, okay, like me, Noof, Proto, Batman, we're going to call them out on this stuff because we don't know where they're going with this. You're hearing rumors that they're getting out of the console market. Then they're making a handheld. Then they're doing this. Then they're doing that. But they say things. Oh, we're gonna stay in the console market. But then they're pulling consoles out of certain markets.
Yeah,
it's like, what are we doing here? Like, just tell us what's going on. And they kind of can't because it's Microsoft, not just Xbox. They always talk to the shareholders. Look at every division of Microsoft. They talk to the shareholders. They don't talk to the fans. As much as the fan base thinks that they're in love with them and all this stuff, they talk to the shareholders. And that's that's the whole thing. So you have to, like, there's mixed messaging here.
Fans,
and you gotta
put some lube on your finger before you're going to stick it in their ass, okay?
Yeah, you got to, like, read between the lines, too. You know what I mean? And weed out all the garbage that they're putting out there. So we want them to do better. We're not sitting here saying, yeah, screw them or whatever. But we're just like, what are you guys doing? And hopefully they figure out what they're doing, and then they translate that into better gaming. So,
absolutely.
That's all it is, man. It has nothing to do with everyone's hating on everything. Yeah, we make fun of them, too. Like, on my channel, we make fun of all this stuff. We break the fourth wall, make fun of all that.
We give praise when praise is due too. I mean, you know, like we've had some fantastic exclusive consoles and had some great controller designs. And you know, one of the nicest things Xbox has done in the industry in the last couple of years is make the adaptive controllers, which was an industry trendsetter. Yeah. You know, we've had a slew of good games too. I mean, regardless of where they score on the Metacritic score, I mean, the Xbox has had a slew of great releases too. So. You know, it would be nice if they're in that game of the year conversation a little more often than they have been in the past 15, 20 years, maybe, but we'll see. And that's going to be one of our topics here, you know, coming up here shortly. But let's get right into the first topic of the night, and that is Xbox gets a new head of game studios. Craig Ferguson, not Rod Ferguson, but Craig Ferguson. I think I said that correctly. He's always been the lead head over at Rare Studios. You guys know Rare, the people that made games like Conker's Bad Fur Day and made Banjo Kazooie and made Cameo and made a bunch of great games. And more recently, they've made a pretty fun game called Sea of Thieves, which, love it or hate it, the game has become a pretty big runaway hit. The game has evolved over the course of time, over the past few years, and it is a very unique experience. And I urge anybody that does have an Xbox or PC or even on PlayStation now, I urge you to, like, if you want to, sail the stormy seas and feel like a pirate, I would say Sea of Thieves is a pretty good experience for that. If you can get past sort of the stylized cartoony graphics, the game does have a lot of gameplay. It is a lot of fun with friends. See, here's some positive stuff, right? We do like Sea of Thieves. My only downside is, this is Rare Studios. I think that they've notoriously been known for making a lot of games or a lot of good games. And the fact that I feel like there's so much talent somewhere at that studio being squandered, my question is, are you guys just the Sea of Thieves studio now? Is that all we're going to get from you for the next 15, 20 years is live updates to this freaking game? Like, either make a sequel or make a couple of new games or go back to some beloved IPs, or if you're not going to build them yourself, give them some other Xbox studios and have this shit done, because we're crying out for it. But anyway, I mean, congratulations to Craig. He seems like a great guy, and he's going to become the head of Xbox Game Studios, taking over for some dude. It's not Matt Booty, it's another guy. I just forget his name off the top of my head. So I'm going to start with Batman, because he's been kind of silent here, and I want to get him on the conversation. Batman, what do you take of this news? Do you think it's a good move for Xbox? Why do you think they promote it, Craig? What's your take on it?
Well,
where does Rare,
if they they made the GoldenEye, right? These guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
yeah.
That's GoldenEye. Yeah, Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I mean, if they make these games, and whoever they get up there, at least to get somebody good that's going to be making good games, because I mean, we've been lacking on games as it is.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been sort of certain areas. I mean, the games industry overall, I would say, is kind of flooded with games. But we're also getting flooded with a lot of cell phone quality games. We're getting flooded with like a billion indies now. Like, indies went from being a few great gems. So, like, now if you literally go on the storefront of any major console or PC, and it's like there's so many now. Like, it's just stupid. It's like,
yeah, you can even play games on your Fire Stick or your any device,
But like, what do you think it means for Craig, and what do you think his mandate is? Is just like what do you think is the meaning behind this sort of promotion? I mean, obviously he was running things that seemed like. Do you think they got rid of him from there, maybe because he run his course at Rare? Or do you think maybe they wanted to push somebody over at Rare that maybe because they bring the hammer down a little bit more, maybe get the ball rolling on some of the projects, perhaps? Sometimes when people have the same boss or work around the same employees, you get complacent, and a lot of shit it falls on deaf ears after a while. So maybe that's it, just to freshen up the sort of the leadership over at Rare.
Yeah, they need that. I mean, because depending on what's happening, because if they haven't been making anything good, they're gonna have to be pushing it and say, we got to get out there, give it to the customers, because that's how they're gonna make money off of that.
No, indeed. Proto, why don't you jump in here, man? What's your take on this kind of news? Does it make any sense? Like I said, what's happening at Rare? Do you think? How do you think he's going to fit into play here as Xbox Game Studios? I'm just curious, because it's kind of the feel we said before the show. Like, when we heard this promotion, we kind of went like, huh? Like, it just seems odd to me.
And that's where I'm at, dude. It's just a big. I mean, good for him. Good for him. He got the promotion. Good for him. Hopefully he does well. Hopefully he's got a plan, because right now it doesn't seem like. We're moving a lot of people around, right? We're promoting a lot of people. We're giving them different titles, shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. But like, we don't have a clear-cut plan. We're, like you had said, we're moving in and out of the console game. We're pulling stuff out of markets. We're leaving stuff in markets. They're just launching a mobile app now.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can buy your games mobilely. Which, hey, I guess that's convenient if that's how you want to work it. That's fine. It's just very confusing. I mean, again, good for him. And maybe, You know, because the thing is like, yeah, what was the biggest hit they had, you know, in the past decade? It was Sea of Thieves and then nothing else. So it's like Rare doesn't have a whole lot to talk about, but you guys mentioned it, that they got all of these IPs just sitting. And here I am. We're, you know, just watching the chat just light up about different games.
Rare is working on that Everwild game, and nobody's basically heard a damn thing about it in the last, what,
there's been fucking radio silence, dude, and that's what worries me. It's like it's the radio silence, and all of a sudden you're getting stuff where you're treated to like these all of a sudden, you know, stealth drops. Like, oh, by the way, you know, and the next thing we hear about Everwild, I would not be surprised if we heard, oh, it's available now, and it's the first time we've heard about it since we just mentioned it, right? But it's like, I mean, maybe he's the guy to correct the ship. Who knows? I mean, they're starting to make different moves in different directions, and you know, I mean, again, good for the dude, you know, but hopefully he also doesn't forget where he came from and doesn't forget that, hey, the studio that I used to be head of has all these IPs that people are asking for. You know, I mean, you know, as much as people bagged on it, I liked that last Battletoads game they did. I had fun with it, you know, and then, yeah, obviously when the Rare Replay came out, that did really well on Xbox One, you know, so it's like, don't forget about this stuff. Yeah, you got all your eggs in one basket when it comes to Sea of Thieves and shit like that, and that's all fine, but, you know, you got to do more. And it's like, it's hard to maybe feel excited for a guy who is at the head of the studio who's sitting on all these IPs that they're doing nothing with. And they're just, and again, Sea of Thieves, it's fine. It's doing well. They got it going, and you can play it anywhere now. So if, you know, being a pirate's your thing, go play the damn game. But I don't know. I don't know what to feel. But then again, that's how I feel about Xbox. I don't know what to feel. Every time they do something cooler, they do something good, you almost have to take it back and be like, okay, I can be cautiously optimistic about this because it might be good or it might land on its face. Who knows? But that's where I'm at.
How about yourself, Perry? What's your 2 cents worth on this thing? Does this make any sense to you? Do you think maybe it is to shake things up a little bit? Obviously, Proto guy has been with the company for a long time, which is kind of how Microsoft often does it. Or do you think, you know, there's sometimes there's a lot more going on than we even know about? And I'll give you one prime example is the Mike Ibarra example, right? Mike Ibarra was one of the flagship guys for Xbox for many years. He was kind of like one of the faces of Xbox. You know, when you thought about the bigwigs, right? It was always Phil Spencer and, of course, Major Nelson and, you know, Rod Ferguson, Mike Ibarra. Those were some of the guys you always seen in front of the camera or talking on social media. And it's kind of funny because when Mike Ibarra left in particular, like he goes over and ends up working with Rod over at, as we all guys know, or if you guys hadn't heard, like Rod Ferguson left the Coalition Gears. He went over to work on Diablo with that studio over there, right, to go over with Activision Blizzard, working on that game. And then shortly thereafter, Mike Ibarra left as well and also went over to Activision Blizzard. And the funniest part of it is once that merger or whatever went through, I think it got finalized, Mike Ibarra up and left fucking Activision Blizzard. And the funniest part, if you guys are watching him on social media, he's been basically doing nothing but calling out and shitting on a lot of the stuff that Xbox has been doing, which basically leads me to believe that he was not a fan of a lot of the business decisions that were happening at Xbox. It's pretty fucking apparent. Now, he doesn't say a lot. He's not like, you know, like literally sticking a knife in their back, but you can definitely tell that there's a little bit of like, what the fuck are you doing kind of guys, right? And he said this for other companies too, but now that he's no longer part of their corporate structure, he could be a little bit more honest about some of the stuff that's been going on. And I suspect there's a hell of a lot more going on behind the scenes that we even know about. But anyway, Perry, not to get off track, but I'm just saying, what's your take on the Craig Ferguson thing? And maybe it's something similar to Mike. Maybe there's some shit going on and they need to shake up at Rare too.
Hey, sometimes a shakeup is needed. You know, sometimes things aren't working out, and you point to the next guy and be like, you know, you're pretty good, get you up there. Or it could be a combination of things. Maybe they want to get rid of the guy and like, all right, we'll make you the head guy. If you screw up, you're out of here. I don't know. Whatever. Could be any reason. He could be friends with certain people, and they're like, let's get this guy a pay bump. Let's move him up a little bit. I don't know. I don't work there, so I can't tell you
Yeah,
what the culture
I'm
is
sure
like.
it comes to the small promotion, right? But you kind of wonder now, like, you take a guy with that much experience and been around that side of that studio for so long. I mean, it must be fucking 30 years or plus, probably for Craig.
Right.
Just a very interesting scenario that's going on there. Like I don't really get it. And then he's going to take over game studios, and this coming from a leader who obviously didn't seem to mandate a whole lot of games getting built out of Rare. So how the hell is he going to crack the whip and get some shit actually rolling over across all the studios? If you're going to banish him to a ship or something, what's the deal?
I have no idea. If I was like more privy to that stuff, I could give you some sort of an idea. Here's the thing, Noof. We talk about these guys behind the scenes. I'm a guy that just likes to buy games. I really don't need to know who the hell makes these games. Like, this is like to the point that we're at now. Right. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy's going to come in. This guy's going to fix it. It's like, just give me games. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're not wrong, dude. You're not.
You know what I mean? Should I know these guys' names? Should I know who they are?
Kind of irrelevant. We put these guys on these pedestals. Is kind of what you're saying, and at the end of the day, it's fairly irrelevant, right?
Yeah, it's just I understand like this is your topic or whatever. I'm just saying. I thought the guy was Ed Grimley at first. You saw I posted the photo online. I was like, Ed Grimley? Listen, I'm sure I got to have good faith in people, so I'll say I'm sure it's for the better. I mean, time will tell.
Time will tell. Like I said, it's not a big story. I mean, it's a lot of speculation. I mean, obviously, it's a promotion. It's a good thing for Craig. I guess it just makes you wonder. Like I said, what happens now with Rare? Who takes over there? Is this just kind of a way to move him somewhere else? Like you said, to sort of spur more development perhaps at that studio, and maybe they're looking for some expertise or some guy that has a little bit more, has been around the industry longer, who can probably bring some of those Q&A sessions and knowledge into the other studios that he has a spearhead now to try to make sure that there's a flow of content. And I guess that's the key thing. If Microsoft is as serious about Game Pass as they seem to be, that's going to be the sword that they die on. Is they're going to need a flow of content. They can't expect Game Pass to be to sell like they've already admitted it's the sort of second year in a row the Game Pass numbers are down. They're down from where they expected, or not as high as forecasts or projections. And I see that for a couple of reasons. One, the price jumps. That's always a kicker in the balls. I don't care what you say, even if it is a couple of dollars. Some people will back away when the value of a product seems to go down, but the cost of the product is going up. We've seen this with Netflix. We've seen it with other streaming services. Game Pass will be no different. And I've even seen, Jay Fonzarelli just recently came out and was saying how I think it was him that he doesn't see the value in Game Pass anymore. The games that he wants to play are not part of the service. So there you go, right? And this is a true effect. So, but if Game Pass wants to survive, they do want, like Call of Duty is a big boost, but we talked about it. They're not even marketing Call of Duty properly. So if they're not going to use their biggest asset in the marketing, they're going to need a lot of stuff, and that means they're going to need a lot of games. They can't go 4 or 5 months without no content. 1 or 2 games a year is not going to cut it, especially if they're not going to pony up the dough and get the third-party games. And every time I look around now, it seems like more and more third parties are refusing to put their big games in Game Pass. Certainly within the first couple of months, they might get them, but it's like way down the road. So these are the things that are working against that program. And hopefully Craig can maybe spur a little more production and get some of these games going.
Yeah. And for those who have a Game Pass, were there any games that were not, enlisted into Game Pass, that all you wanted or that hasn't been put on there yet?
Yeah, I mean, that's always a good question. Hell, for me, for Game Pass, as far as like that goes, it's the whole removing games from it too, Right. Like maybe what got removed that you didn't want to see removed kind of shit.
Oh, there we go. We got a super chat right there that kind of sums up things pretty perfectly. RWK88 drops $1.99. Go ahead, Perry.
RWK88. I'm tired of turning on the Series X to play old games. I agree.
There you have it. Right? Like Game Pass to me had a lot more momentum behind it like 2 years ago than it has right now. Am I wrong on that, or is that my perception?
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. When I, jump back into the whole Xbox ecosystem there and then got into Game Pass, I was like, okay, yeah, this is really awesome. That was a couple of years ago. Now it just kind of seems like it not only hit its plateau, but now it's just kind of, I don't want to say nosediving because it's gradual, but it's definitely not it definitely doesn't feel the same.
Well, it's still, look, without a doubt, it's still the best value in gaming. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't think there's very few people to argue that it's a fantastic value for the amount of games that you get to play, the access to some of the best titles out there, access to new stuff. I'm not going to argue that. Even if it is $20 or whatever you're paying for it per year for the ultimate, it is a pretty good value per se. But again, value is also in the eye of the beholder. And like one guy just made a video that I was watching on YouTube. I don't even know who it was, but he was making a video about Game Pass. And that's the thing he said is like it loses value for him because Game Pass, again, you're not buying the games. So you have no digital library, period. When you stop subscribing, you're left with nothing. So all those years of paying for something gives you nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
If that makes any sense to anybody, I know it may not make a lot of. Some people might not care, but let's just say, like all of a sudden, say you've been spending Game Pass for 10 years. Add that up, right? You a couple $100 spending a subscription service, and at the end of the day, you have zero games unless you went up and bought a version digitally. You have nothing left to show for all those years, other than save files and maybe your achievements.
I was going to say it would just be the achievements and the bragging rights, because you look at it, because you said a couple $100. It's a couple $100 a year. Now you times that by 10 years, like you just said, a decade. You look at it over $2,000 to have achievements and bragging rights.
Yeah, it's kind of like the sting of when me and my wife, when we finally stopped paying rent at our condo, 12 years, right? Of paying rent at a condo, and we didn't have a single dime to show for any of it for 12 years. And we didn't even have credit. You can't use rent as credit to say go toward a mortgage on a house, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of left with nothing. You basically paid for that. You paid just to be there, but you're left with nothing at the end. So I hate to use the words, but glorified rental service.
Yeah. It's not wrong.
Right.
If that works out for you, I don't want to be here shitting on it all night because, look, we could go down this rabbit hole and we can spend days on it. I certainly know I can. I've said it 1,000,001 times. I'm going to keep on saying it until I'm dead and black in the fucking face. Game Pass, as good as it is for most average gamers, has been a detriment to the industry. It's one of the reasons that Xbox cabinet keeps getting smaller. And can you blame retailers for not carrying games when they know they're going to have a hard time fucking selling even 1/3 of the copies because somebody is going to play all these games for fucking $17 or $20 a month, and then you're wondering why they don't have them in their shelf? It's not fucking rocket science. And I saw that when Halo Infinite came out and my GameStop only had 8 or 9 copies or something in their store. I went, whoa, really? And the guy's like, yep. I goes, wow, that's crazy. Because Halo used to be one of those games that you'd have stacks going to the ceiling, right?
Yep.
And I was like, that's an eye opener right there.
Midnight releases and everything, man. And I'm right there with you. When I got my copies for Halo Infinite for my son and I, and just kind of saw how it was just barren, even though I'm there for just the one game, but just seeing like, oh, there's not so many copies, and it's like, oh.
Barry, with your store, do you do new stuff as well, or is it just all used?
It depends. People will let me know if they want something, and I'll get it for them. But usually I don't make money on new stuff. I only make money on used stuff. In fact, I lose money on new stuff. So it is.
Well, there you go. But even you, that's a detriment to your business. You make money on used stuff, but there's going to be a whole lot less used stuff because nobody's going to have anything to trade in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what it is? A lot of people are coming in for like 360 now. They're not really coming in for the new stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so much used stuff can go around forever. Old stuff, you got to repair shit. And I know right now there's a pretty good market for some of the used and retro video games. Oddly enough, because I thought between all the streaming services and then all these retro consoles you can buy off of Amazon that have thousands of emulators, you'd almost think that buying anything physical would be tough, right?
Yeah, and not to get off topic, but I've seen a lot of people on Instagram and Twitter that are going back to going to thrift stores, getting VHSs and the people are making custom VHS movies and stuff like that were that were never on VHS. And there's a little niche for that, that's coming back. Old stuff.
Absolutely. No, man, marketing
is to a lot of people.
One thing. How many of us here on this panel and in the chat remember the Halo 2 marketing like it was yesterday?
Oh man, God, yeah.
Oh yeah,
God, yeah.
Now, how come they can't do it like that? Hey, and that was before Halo was even a massive franchise. Halo 2 wasn't even that big of a deal when you think about it in the grand scope of things. It only had 2 games, and yet Halo 2 was fucking massive on a console that hadn't even sold 40 million units at that time. So think about that.
It was
that's how fucking much Microsoft marketed the shit out of stuff back then.
Yeah.
Because they cared about it back then.
Yep.
They had it on fucking posters. They had it on commercials. They had it in the magazine ads. Everywhere it was this Halo with his 2 little SMGs in his hand, like one of the biggest entertainment launches in history at the time.
Yeah, 7-Eleven did commercials and stuff and whatnot, and then there was bobbleheads and all kinds of little merchandise for that game.
Because back in the day, they believed in games. Now it's not so much. Man, no truer words spoken right there. I don't know what the fuck they believe in anymore other than stock market shares, I guess. They sure as hell are to the hardcore people that are in this chat room. I keep fucking telling them, we know how you can fix some of your dilemma, but you guys do not seem like you want to do it. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I'm no fucking genius, but I bet you any money if I spend
off for $20 a month,
I'll turn around their fucking. I'll turn something around. I'll make sure I turn them around, or I'll be fired within a month. One of the two. Either they're gonna make profit, or they can be because I'll be too honest. Oh, yes. See, I love that. They made you feel like you could not miss Halo 2, and that was absolutely it. It was like one of those games you had to have. You very see that of anybody now outside of Nintendo and a few other games that have that big draw, So
yeah, it just doesn't have that feel anymore, like you were saying.
No, absolutely not.
Even
I wonder now when the next last
Halo 3.
So I wonder if the TV show will help sort of remarket the game, because right now the game kind of marketed the TV show, and I have a feeling the show is going to start marketing the game. Well, we got says my YouTube feed is randomly full of random channels promoting the Series X refresh and saying it's awesome. Xbox must be desperate paying these dweebs to act like it's a pro system. They just colored it white. They sapped it out of color.
They took the color out of it, and then they took away the disk drive.
Yeah, no, that's right.
They didn't even put like a plastic brace where the disk drive went.
Bigger hard drive. That's it. So basically, they give the Xbox a bigger dick.
They didn't even put like a
but then they cut his balls off.
Where that hole was, there's just an empty hole in there.
There's no hole in it. That's good. Now your kids can't try to jam in something stupid, right?
Yeah, so like the digital edition, they literally just left a hole where the disk drive was. They didn't put like a plastic brace or anything. So I was like, wow, usually they put something there just to like, I don't know, even it out, I guess, but they didn't do that. They literally just left a hole in there. So
yeah.
And then on top of it, if you think about it, because they
had your money in there, I guess, right?
Yeah, maybe. But you think about it too. Because they released the Series X refresh, which they're not calling a refresh, but let's face it, it's a refresh because it's something different.
Right.
They just basically made their own alternate SKU, the cheaper alternate SKU, completely fucking useless. Why would anybody want to buy that lesser system unless you're gonna, unless you don't want to spend, the $400 now? I think is it still $500? I think it's still $500. but I mean, it's doing everything better than the Series S, and it's the same thing, just with the beefed up specs. It almost seems like it's it made the Series S absolutely pointless.
Yeah. Well, like Ron,
why is the all digital edition only 1 terabyte?
He had so many.
That should be 2 terabytes, right? The other one's 2 terabytes.
They haven't even made like hardly skins or anything for the Series X, even though these consoles being so fucking flat and square as they are, you'd think they'd have like skins and things, all sorts of shit to fucking do these things up with, but nope.
Right.
But they make every fucking controller under the sun, though.
Yeah, you can get 20 controllers at $200 a pop.
Yeah, like what's next week? They're gonna have a fucking Kraft Dinner macaroni and cheese colored controller. Like at this fucking point, they almost got as many controllers as Funko got Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. That's very true. Because this guy has them all.
Here's a question for you. Not to kind of get away off topic, but I think the Craig Ferguson thing is kind of done. I don't think we really have anywhere to go.
Yeah, I think we're through it.
Disk drives. We see that the PS5 Pro is not getting a disk drive, although you can buy the add-on, which I suppose is, something. But do you guys literally think the next iteration, the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox Series, whatever the fuck it's going to be, will have a disk drive? Batman, let's start with you. Disk drive or no disk drive? Do you think they're going to even put one in at this point?
Nah, we're going. Physical media is dying off a bit. I think everything's going to be digital now.
Yeah, Perry, you probably have the best guess on this one, probably.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have a disk drive on either of them.
You think they'll just make an add-on possibly just for those people that'll bitch, so they'll just make something to plug in?
I don't even think they'll do an add-on because you have to understand something. If they stop making discs, the manufacturers, those plants are going to close. Who are you going to get to manufacture the discs? So it's like a whole chain reaction type thing.
Right.
There's not there will be like movie studios that pay certain distributors to print discs out, but the gaming companies want to get away with that. They want you to be on their subscription services, and that's just the way that they're going to have it. And that's, for newer generations coming up, they don't know discs, so for them that's fine. But for us, things are going to change, and it's just the way that it is. I don't see them making external disk drives or any of that stuff. I think they want to get away from all that. The PlayStation 5 is now hacked with a burnt Blu-ray. Like you could buy like a blank Blu-ray and hack your PlayStation 5 right now. Right. I think they kind of want to get away from all that, just for that end, and they want to push their subscription narratives and services and all that. So
right, it's a little easier to push that when again you're kind of driving people over to that side of the fence. Absolutely. Proto, yourself, what's your take? Think yes or no?
Perry nailed on the head, and I'm right there. I agree with him. I don't think either of them will. I think the industry, like Perry said, is trying to move away from it. And especially how he just mentioned that you can hack a PS5 through the disk drive now. I'm sure they're pretty. Both companies are pretty tired of that, and I think they're wanting to turn it into that box where it's almost like you access their digital storefront, and to the point now where you won't even have like little cards with digital codes to purchase in stores anymore. You're just going to get the stuff through the digital storefront on said console. It's the way it's been going for a while. I don't like it at all. And I can tell you right now, come that next generation, I'm out. I'll just play everything on my PC then, because I can do all that on my PC already. But yeah, I think that's where it's going. I think they're just to the point where it's like you're one step away from being a PC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen PCs get away from disk drives too over the last few years. A lot of when you go to the store and you get a program, it's like a code and whatnot. We're seeing a lot of stores now. I mean, for physical space, it just makes a lot of sense to just carry these cards with codes on them. There's pros and there's cons of everything, right? I personally think that PlayStation probably will add a disk drive to PlayStation 6. I think if either company is going to go with a drive out of the box, or at least the option to add a drive will be Sony, because I think Sony's still largely a little more invested in the physical side of the medium than Xbox is. And that's obviously because, again, PlayStation promotes PlayStation Plus. What is it? PlayStation, their services. They don't promote it in the same way Xbox does. It's not the be all end all. They're not advertising as a service that needs to be everywhere. We're not advertising as a service that's going to play on your refrigerator or on your fucking Amazon stick and in your diapers or wherever the fuck you want to play it. They still have sort of, you know what I mean? There's still a lot of discs being sold. You even see that with third-party publishers. A lot of them are still making the disc for PlayStation, but don't even make one for the Xbox. So I think that, yes, PlayStation, if it's not part of the actual physical console, they will still make the add-on. And as we saw, there's still a need for it, because the PlayStation 5 disc drives, the add-on USB disc drives, or whatever the hell they are, they've sold out on Amazon there a while back. Now, I don't know if they're back in stock, but they did sell out. So that tells you something, that there's still a demand and a need. And I think as long as back compatibility is out there, there's always going to be a need for the disc drives for a large part. But Xbox, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they definitely ditch the disc.
What if for PlayStation 6 they let you buy a disc drive, but it's only for the older games?
That would fucking suck too.
Yeah,
it would. I mean,
and I would just hang on to my old fucking console. I wouldn't even bother to go buy a disc drive. That'd be kind of pointless.
Hey, it's Sony. You never know, right? They'll do the dumbest stuff, and then they'll charge you more money for it. So.
Yeah, this is true.
100% true. 100%. When it comes to fucking gouging you for your coin, Sony's always the leading culprit. No, I should say Nintendo's gotten pretty bad at it too. Nintendo gives you fucking nothing. Charges you
they give you nothing, and you like it.
And you like it. Like, Nintendo is like so fucking stingy over their properties, and like even their online service still makes me laugh. It's like, fucking, after all these years, you got that fucking basic ass, shitty ass Nintendo fucking online. Like, honestly, I know it's cheap, but it's still like, it's cheap because it fucking is cheap.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a fucking dirty hooker. You wouldn't even put your fucking finger in her snatch for $5. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Yeah. Right?
I would have to put something on a pole to get near it.
We got Nintendo Online. There's $25 so you can play one, your old fucking NES games, and two, you can play Mario Kart. After that, go fuck yourself.
Right? And then people wonder why I hang on to all my shit, because it's like, because you mentioned backwards compatibility, and it's like it's definitely awesome, but that's not even going to be around forever.
No, absolutely. Well, at some point in time, some of this shit just dies too. Like, at some point, Perry, yes, I will send you my fucking Xbox. I got it packed up and ready to go. I just it's going to cost a bit to send it, because I got to send it, and I guarantee it's going to cost me at least $50 Canadian to send that whopping fucking behemoth down to the States. And then I got to give you enough money to send the fucking thing back. So yeah, I'll send it to you probably after I get back from my Niagara trip and I get a few financial things straightened up. But I have it packed. I got the parts in the box. I'm looking forward to you doing the whole little soldering bit there. So.
Oh yeah, I'll stream that too.
The problem with it is the capacitors are gone, because you can see that they boiled out at the top or whatever.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, just
always enjoy those videos, Perry, when you do that. You start cutting up stuff.
So what was that, Batman?
Oh no, I just said that I always enjoy those videos when Perry starts to cut up stuff and put stuff back together.
Absolutely. As long as he's not taking a mallet to it, because he needs to save his tables.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Axel's in the house. What's going on, brother Axel? Got to get that man on our podcast here sometime soon.
What?
Oh, Spider-Man. I just said Spider-Man. I'm planning to send Perry my old original Xbox, because I bought it off a guy and it worked for like 20 seconds and then it died. So I opened it up and did a little research, and apparently I guess the capacitors were old and they started to leak. So once the capacitors leak out. The machine can't get power, I guess.
Yep,
run
exactly.
Yeah.
So once he fixes it up, I'm sure it'll run perfect. It's just it's a little tricky doing the solder stuff, but yeah, it's all good. Anyway, enough about that. So there we go. There's our thoughts on disk drives. Sounds like the majority of us are pretty convinced that this is our last generation of the things, and the PlayStation 5 Pro also coming with no disk drive. And then seeing the latest iterations of the Xbox with no disk drive kind of lead me to believe that, especially based on sales, if sales are fairly high for these devices, it'll just kind of tell them that people are just ready to move on from the disk drives altogether. And it is what it is, right? It is what it is, I guess. But it has pros and it has cons. Just hang on to at least one of your old consoles in case you want to back and patch it. So, man. All right. So let's move right along. Like I said, we got amazing people in the chat. We got Michael Monkey Punch Lugo hanging out with us. We got Spider-Man 356, one of our longtime fans of the show. We got Anthony L hanging out with in the chat. Ron Hale is hanging out with us as well. Doug 2001. Joe Dunmore was here tonight. I see Doggy Dog 420 in the house. Pink Piggles is here. We got Fazaa. We got Iceman LMH. We got some great people in the house tonight, guys. RWK88, Talos Ray. The list goes on. You guys are fucking phenomenal. Thank you so much for being here. Right now, we're sitting at 24 live in the chat. Again, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this stuff out. Love to get more people up in here. So let's talk about the next topic, shall we? Or unless there's something else you guys want to bring up before we move on to that.
Nah, I'm ready to go.
I'm good.
Well, actually, let's go to a topic that wasn't on the list, but let's talk about it a little bit, since kind of a little carryover from last week, talking about remasters and remakes. And then there is the word going around that there's a God of War remake coming, I guess, or a remaster. I don't know the exact terminology or what they're planning, but basically they're bringing the God of War Greek trilogy supposedly over to PlayStation 5. So I would imagine that means it's going to have higher frame rates, better resolution, perhaps some improved graphics in different areas. But by God, if they fucking mess with the nudity and shit and that, I'm out. I'm not buying it. Keep it authentic, please. Right?
Yeah.
I heard all the girls are going to have flat chests and flat asses.
Oh, God.
Probably going to get them big files too, make them ugly.
Real quick, Noof, I don't want to step on your toes, but I add a little correction there because I don't think it's just the original trilogy. I think they're doing the entire saga.
Yes, you're correct. It's all of the Greek games, including Ascension and the PlayStation Portable games. Yes, correct.
So
I would definitely buy that. Would you guys buy it? I would buy it because I love those games to no extent. And there was a couple I never did get to play, including Ascension, because I think I was kind of done with my PS3 at the time. So I really do want to. I did dabble with Ascension, like briefly, but I never really played much of it. So yeah, I'm totally down for it if they do make it. I hate to be one of those guys that'll go out and buy like essentially the same games over and over again. But to me personally, the God of War Greek series is better than the current God of War, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, especially the way they were though, like the old Harryhausen film. You know, he had the walking skeletons running around and stuff, and three-headed dogs and all kinds of stuff like that. That was nodding too from those old movies.
Mm-hmm.
The Cerberus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like the third game alone was just iconic, man. The stuff that you saw in that game was wild.
Yeah, I mean, hell,
climbing up the Gaia and the fight with Poseidon at the start was epic. Like that whole game was just epic, wild.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. The whole Gaia thing at the beginning. Yeah,
like the boss battles and that, and then the fight with you fight Hercules, and epic finale against Zeus, and like just those games are just, and it was more about just combat and having fun, in the vein of Ninja Gaiden, whereas they kind of went more like a story based approach, and to me, like the one thing I really didn't care about when it comes to the new God of War games was just like the amount of like all of the upgrading shit, like kind of turning it into more of an RPG where you're always upgrading shit to get better stuff. Like that part of the game was really the part that turned me off of the new God of Wars. Like just give me the Chains of Olympus and let me have at her. You know what I mean?
I can't agree because I like the new God of War games.
And I like them too. But I don't know, like too many armor options, too many weapon. I did like the axe, don't get me wrong, but it was just like,
I mean, I get that coming off of the original games like that, and then because it was a bit jarring at first. But I really got, like, I still got to get, because I played a little bit of Ragnarok. I still got to get it so I can finish it. But man, when I jumped into, what was it, 2018, the God of War, I think it was 2018, that God of War, it was like, holy shit, what is this? You know, and I really got into it. But I won't steer the train in another direction because I want to stick to the topic here. So we were talking about the Greek games.
So do you guys feel that this package would be worth it if they do it right? And of course, because it would have all the games, including games that a lot of people missed, like the PlayStation Portable games, as well as Ascension, which did get overlooked, which wasn't a bad God of War game by any means. But I do believe Ascension, who was the director for that? Was it Stig Asmussen, the same guy that ended up doing 3? I can't remember if it was or not. I know they changed directors a bunch of times. Like the first 2 games, I think David Jaffe was behind, and then after that, it started to change. Number 3, I know, was Stig. So the first 2 were David Jaffe, then it was Stig for the third one, and I can't remember if it was Stig that did Ascension or not.
I can't remember. I can't recall.
Like Perry says, he doesn't give a shit who made the game as long as the games are
good. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, again, there is a pedigree to certain developers and directors. It can't be just coincidental. It's like Neil Druckmann has done some phenomenal stuff with the Last of Us games, right? So, like, there are certain studios that just make games tick. And I mean, Gears was never the same after Cliffy B left. So it's not just the person with the technical savvy. It's people that know great story, or people that know what characters are going to sell, and people that know how to honor their audience and make stuff new without disservicing the content that came before it.
Right, exactly. No, I agree with that too. Yeah, again, it boils down to, like Perry said, where it was like, it doesn't matter as long as the game's great, who the fuck's making it. But you do have them all stars, like you mentioned. And Cliffy B, because I old school Unreal guy, and then the original Gears trilogy. I mean, that stuff was phenomenal, and that's his fingerprints all over it. So sometimes it does matter.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. How about like I said, did you have the PlayStation? Did you ever play the PlayStation Portable games and all that stuff?
Who are you asking first?
Batman.
Oh yes, yeah. I had a PSP. I think it was the second or third version, and I had like 60. It was a 61 gigabyte or 60 something like that. I had a lot of games on there, and man, those games were pretty good. The God of War. Was it Chains of Olympus? It Ghost of Sparta?
Olympus, and then there was the other one. I forget the name of
Ghost of Sparta.
Ghost of Sparta, yes. 2 phenomenal games.
Those were good.
Being built for the PlayStation Portable. Like, they did a good job. That was Ready at Dawn Studios that made those.
Yeah.
And Ready at Dawn, I think wasn't that the team behind that's the team behind The Order 1886, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Yep. Unfortunately, got shut down after that fucking game, and that game was actually that game was to PlayStation what Rise Son of Rome was to Xbox. It was a game that got fucking shit on by way too many people. It was way better than most people give it credit for, and should have got a sequel, but unfortunately, the media fucking shooted a new one for stupid ass reasons, and there we have it.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. Pour one out for The Order.
I've heard a lot of people in the last couple of years, people that basically went back and either replayed The Order or picked it up for the first time because they got it like cheap in a bargain bin. And a lot of people are like, God damn, this game was fucking pretty good. And I'm like, right? We were telling you. Yeah, it had a little bit of quick timey bullshit in it, but like that fucking game was cool, man. Like it had, and the graphics are still fucking awesome today.
Oh yeah. It's one of my many on the list to buy because I had played it, enjoyed it, but never picked it up. And now it's like, okay, yeah, now I got to go get it because, of course, I'm wanting to just buy up what I can. So it's definitely on there.
There you go.
I think Mental 9R recently played it too, so he enjoyed it.
Oh, the Order, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, it was a little short, but like a game had a lot of promise. It was definitely one of those, it was the Uncharted. Like, remember the original Uncharted game was like, it was good, but it wasn't like blow your mind awesome, but it was good.
Right,
and apparently it was good enough with enough people that it got greenlit a sequel. And then Naughty Dog just went up and blew the fucking house open.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Doors off of everybody.
Right. And like, that's the way a lot of these games are. It's unfortunate, like I said, that some games for whatever reason just don't hit at the right time, or they don't get marketed right. They get sort of a lackluster review, and then everybody goes, that's how the game gets based on,
Yeah, and then it's on to the next.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like Starfield, not my favorite game in history, but I will tell you this, it doesn't deserve some of the low ratings I've seen people put out there for it. It's just, I don't know what the hell game you're playing, but Starfield is not that fucking bad. But anyway, I'm off track. I'm all over the place tonight.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's all right. We'll get there eventually.
Just any further thoughts though on the God of War Legacy collection, I guess, if it's going to come out? Like, was it something that people would buy? Would you guys buy it? Or are you done with it? Just rather play the originals?
For me, fuck, I'm all over it, man, because I only still have just 1 and 2, and then I had at one point, I believe it was Chains of Olympus, because and Batman mentioned the PSP. I still play the shit out of my PSP. I love it. Let's pour one out for the PSP, because that was a handheld that was ahead of its time. And my copy of that disappeared, unfortunately, probably in one of my many moves. But I'd be all over it, man. Having all of those games in one spot. And somebody in the chat, and I forgot who said it, they said it would be $100 in a jar of Vaseline. And Vaseline me up, man. I'd be all right with that. Like, to have that, even if it's just a basic bare bones remaster, right? I mean, some of those games, again, haven't been out since PS3, because I think they did a collection of 1 through 3 on the PS3, and that was that. And then they never did anything with the PSP games, and I don't think they put them out anywhere. I think there might have been maybe a PS3 collection of them. I'd have to look back. I'm like rambling here, but they aren't widely available outside of the original hardware.
That's right. Yeah, like, I mean, the first 3 games, yes, are a little easy to come by, but the PSP versions and definitely Ascension were missed by a lot of people. So I think if they put all 6 games on a disc, like I said, and they improved them graphically and in other areas, and yes, I definitely think, like, especially the 1 and 2, like, if they could go back and remake 1 and 2 and the PSP versions with like the PS3 level of graphics, I think that would totally sell it for me.
Yeah, and I mean, in those games graphically, hell, they still hold up now. I fire them up every now and again when I fire up the PS2. They still look good, and I mean, to see them with like a coat of polish and paint on it, man. Ooh, yeah, I'd be all over it. And those games were fun. That's one thing you have to fucking keep in mind. That's when they were fun.
Yeah, Batman just wants them to put the sex parts as a mini game in the menus.
All of a sudden, he's worn out his X button on his controller.
Yeah, I remember when playing those games. You'd be low on life. You go around the corner, there'd be a little pool there with 2 women in there, and you'd be like, I need some life.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
hit the quick timer.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was great stuff, man. Awesome. Yeah, and then instead of giving hot, sexy chicks to Kratos in the new games, they gave him that stupid kid.
Oh man, oh man,
they had to give him that kid.
But then he became the dad of War, and then where would we be without the whole? Where would we be without the whole boy?
He just sort of went around with that big wolf dog he had. That would have been cooler.
I still use the whole boy thing around the house all the time with my son. So hey, it gave me something.
Oh man, great stuff though. Atreus was pretty cool at parts in that series, that's for sure. But did the Oilers just fucking lose again? Are you talking about the other night, Spider-Man? I don't know, because they're playing Philadelphia tonight. Better not be fucking losing again. They're already 0-3. Jesus. Oh man. Anyway, get on another topic. I'll be mad as whole heck. We got to start getting on hockey right now.
Oh man. Let's steer the ship correctly then. Let's stay away from hockey for the moment.
Yeah, stay away from fucking hockey. The Oilers always start slower than the Oilers start slower than Xbox's marketing programs.
Oh,
shots fired.
All right, let's talk about here. Let's get into some fun stuff, and I want to get Batman's take on this game of the year candidate conversation. Yes, we're close to that time of the year when everybody starts talking about the top games of the year. Everybody picks their favorite. The Game Awards obviously usually has a selection of nominees, and I'm pretty sure there will be probably next to nothing from Xbox once again at this year's show. It'll probably be littered with PlayStation games and probably a few Nintendo ones in there as well. Batman, what do you think? What so far is your game of the year that you played up to this point? And what do you think ultimately might end up being the game of the year if you think it's going to be different from what you played?
From playing the newest game, I think the little bot, you guys have been playing. Yeah, you guys have been playing it too as well. Perry, his wife, and you guys been playing with it. That one's a real good. It's like kind of like Mario Galaxy or like the type of those kind of old games.
Yeah, I gotta acknowledge failed Pyromasters in the chat because Michael Lugo said it's rigged and Pyro says rigged for who? And I'm like, you can't rig something if nobody ever shows up with a nominee. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, so how do you rig a fight if the guy never shows up in the other corner? That's kind of where we're at with Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, what do they put out? I mean, what the closest game Xbox might have to a Game of the Year nominee might be Hellblade, and that might get nominated for sound or perhaps best visual effects, but I don't think it's going to be up there in the Game of the Year conversation.
No, I don't think so.
Good job, Batman, but go ahead. So so far you're thinking Astrobot, that's your favorite so far?
Yeah, that one's pretty fun.
Yeah, that is a lot of fun. And anything else or anything coming up that you'd like to play that you think could possibly end up in that conversation?
I don't know. I mean,
Indiana Jones is coming out. I'm hoping that's.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah. Fist of Cups with the Nazis.
Honestly, it's a first-person shooter though, and how many first-person shooters ever get nominated for shit?
Yeah,
that's the problem. Right. What do you think ultimately might win? Because I suspect it's not going to be Astrobot, my personal opinion. But what do you think might win?
Not too sure. I mean, there's a lot of good ones.
If that's your pick, and you think Astrobot's going to take Game of the Year, then great.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are kind of pointing their fingers at that new, what do you call it, metaphor, Ray Fantasio, or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, that new metaphor.
A lot of people are pointing their fingers in that direction. There's a lot of Persona fans out there. Apparently, this is like a new version of Persona, basically. So, how about you, Perry? Your personal choice, and what do you think might ultimately win?
I haven't played this game, but I think it'll win Game of the Year. That Wukong game, I think that'll win Game of the Year. I haven't played it, but yeah. For me, like I said on my show, I like Helldivers 2. That's not going to win Game of the Year, but that'll win something, I guess. I don't know. But that's...
Sorry, which one?
Helldivers 2.
Oh,
I don't think that's going to win Game of the Year, but I think that'll win something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might be that could end up in the best multiplayer game this year, right. Or shooter category. It might even be possibly one of the best ongoing games, but I don't think it quite fills into that void. But I mean, lots of people still playing that game so far.
Yeah.
So that's your pick, and what do you think ultimately wins? So you know Helldivers is not winning Game of the Year.
Yeah, no. I think Wukong will win. I haven't played Wukong, so I'm waiting for a price drop, and I'll probably check that out.
Is that the Monkey King
that's
game?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Monkey King game,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gotten rave reviewed, sold.
Maybe
like
Stellar Blade win something. I don't know.
Well, that's what I said. Like Stellar Blade, I think it might get in the. I think. Oh yeah, Stellar Blade. I was thinking Hellblade. Stellar Blade might be in that conversation. It definitely could be, say, one of the best new IPs, or it might be in the best graphics category. There's a few categories I could see that being nominated in. Space Marine 2, I'm not sure. It's been getting good reviews, Spider-Man, but I don't know if it's been kind of in that, like, it's been good, but not in that game of the year conversation, I don't think. I haven't heard too many people like, yeah, this game is just unbelievably good, you know, and it's not likely a third-person sci-fi shooter is going to win top game of the year.
I don't know. There's a lot of talk about
game of the year.
Overwatch. Again, for me, because I'm still catching up, Astrobot's definitely going to be in the conversation. Will it win? Who knows? Wukong. I actually think Space Marines 2 is going to be in the conversation because I feel like that's good enough. That's one I'm going to be spending some time in once I break away from Warframe. It's funny you mention ongoing because Helldivers just came out this year, so I don't think that would qualify for that. And but for me personally, I'm going to say it like I said it way back in the first episode. I think Helldivers will it be in the conversation? I mean, somewhere, but
yeah.
I
heard Concord is getting an award for quickest game to bite the dust.
Yeah.
The best non-going game goes to Concord.
Yeah, Concord. Yeah, non-going game goes to Concord. Then I think because I would think because Super Mario Wonder came out this year too, didn't it?
That's right.
No, that was last year.
Yeah.
Oh, was it last year?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking because what the hell did Nintendo?
Like, Nintendo doesn't have a lot this year. That's kind of
I'm having a real hard time thinking. So this may be a stacked Sony show this go around.
There is Dragon Age Inquisition, or not Inquisition, but Dragon Age the Veilguard, and that drops here in a couple of days.
Yeah, you got Dragon Age. I think one of the Monster Hunters is supposed to be dropping too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that might be up there. God, and I think Delta, is that next year or is that this year? Metal Gear.
Yeah. Fazal said too. He did bring up the new Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, the one where you get to play as Princess Zelda. I'm with you on that one too. Perry's like I really could give two rats ass about that game, honestly.
See, I actually really, because I haven't played it yet, but it reminds me a lot of their remake of Link's Awakening, and I love that.
Yeah.
Will that be in the conversation? Probably not. But for me, God, I would have to probably go with the consensus and say maybe Wukong. I want to say there's been just a lot of talk around that. That's one of the ones like you, Perry, I'm waiting to buy on sale because I got other stuff I've been doing, but
yeah,
I think that one, if it doesn't, it's gonna either that or Metaphor, because Metaphor seems like it's a runaway hit.
Well, Axel, like I said, he said the RPG category is definitely lit this year. Atlas is probably going to win because they've had like a crap ton of games: Shin Megami Tensei 5, Unicorn Overlord, Persona 3 Reload, Metaphor Ray Fantasio. He's definitely right about that. It was a strong year for the JRPG front, not to mention a few other games in that vein as well. So, it's been a strong year, I think, for RPGs in general. And like I said, I hope that, Dragon Age Veilguard turns out to be good, but there's a few things already that not float my boat about it. So if I'm going to buy into that game, it's probably going to win. It's in the bargain bin. So,
yeah.
Yeah, too many games this year. I can't play them all, bro. That's been the way it's been for the last 7 or 8 years. Just like between the indies, the AAAs, the shooters, the free-to-plays, the RPGs. Like, holy fuck, man! Like, if your backlog is not fucking overflowing, I want to know where either you don't play very many games, or you must like dedicate your entire fucking existence to turning on your video game console.
Yeah, they don't go to work.
Yeah. Batman, when you're not fighting crime, are you always busy playing games? How's your backlog? Woo! Look at that Halloween kills.
Ooh.
Who's gonna see the Terrifier 3? I can't wait to see it.
Oh my god, that's one of the ones I'm going to see next.
Oh yeah, well, Liza P. Did that come out? That was last year, wasn't it?
What's that, Liza P? No, I thought that was this year.
Liza P. Or was that this year? I can't even remember. Like that's how many games come out now. You can't even fucking remember.
Yeah, you just can't keep up.
Like crazy. You saw Joker 2 last night. Holy shit, was that holy shit was in it was good, or holy shit that was a waste of my money?
That's a very loaded holy shit there.
Yeah, that
all I had to do was find out that Lady Gaga was in it, and I was like, yeah, fuck, I'm out.
Yeah.
I was like, that means they're gonna have singing, and someone says like a week later, yeah, it's like there's like musical parts. I was like, yeah, definitely fucking out.
I was
waste of life, he said.
Waste of life. I was kind of holding out hope. I could have seen past the whole musical thing, but man, the more I started seeing more, the different trailers and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is looking rough.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. What loses it for you guys? Because me, honestly, if I want to watch fucking musical shit, I'll just go watch a Disney film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, my buddies, we reviewed that Joker 2 movie, and we tore it to pieces. It was, in my opinion, it was kind of crappy.
Well, the best way I heard about Joker 2 was like, as one reviewer said, this is a movie that did not need to exist. The first one was fine. It was kind of it was done. That's kind of where it should have ended. And then they were like, obviously it did so much money that the studios were like, hey, dude, you got to come and make another movie. When the director himself basically stated he was kind of done with it, but they pulled him back anyway.
Yeah.
Can't say blame them. When the paycheck's there, you're going to fucking build whatever they want, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you get money, they sign in your check.
The one, the only, the middle-aged game guy has graced us with his presence in the chat. What's going on,
what's up, Meg? What's up, Meg?
Yeah, we're so many games. Where's the quality and the promotions? Absolutely. Well, the promotions right now are anywhere but on the games.
Yeah,
that's
sure. They're coming in your startup screens.
That is correct. That is correct. Plus, they don't get a fucking commercial out before the goddamn consoles boot up, eh? Like you got to watch this 50-second commercial before your console will even start.
Yeah, it's coming. I haven't gotten it on mine yet, but I know it's coming.
That happened to me. I got not a commercial. I got an ad on Xbox in the middle of playing Dead or Alive 5.
What?
It's on my channel. I just uploaded it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh Lord! In the middle of playing, like we were actually doing a fight and then an ad started.
It was a brand new account.
Yeah.
It was right before. What was it? It was right after I smashed the Xbox or something. I don't remember. Anyway, it was a brand new account, and I said, "Let me just try, Dead or Alive 5, the demo version or whatever." It says, I pick my characters. It's like ready, fight, and I'm about to go towards the other player. And then a freaking Game Pass ad pops up. And it's like, select your subscription plan. I'm like, what? Wow. And I'm live. And I'm showing everybody. I'm like, this is
your wife could have the same outfit as Bai Ling was wearing.
and then I click out of the ad, right? I hit the B button to go back. And I got beat up in the match. Like, it was already over. The match was over. So it played in the background while his ad was on screen.
Did you try it since? Has it happened since, or was it a one-off?
I tried to do it again on an Xbox One S with a new account, and it didn't do it. So I don't know if it's
because that just seems really weird. Yeah, I don't know.
It's on my channel. Check the video out. It's got I think 2,000 views or something. That video. It's got a lot of views.
The worst placement ads ever. He gets an ad coming up for ladies' pantyhose or some shit or a bra.
Do you have that unfresh feeling?
Wonder bra. Oh man. Sorry. What were we talking about here? Yeah. Game of the year.
We were on Game of the Year candidates.
Right. Correct.
And then we went into ads.
Yes. I think my ads are kicking in tonight. Hey man, I'll just make it quick for me. It's pretty simple. Like so far, I haven't played anything, and again, I use that loosely because I don't like to rule out stuff I haven't played, but I can only base my prediction or my personal preference on games I've played this year. And the best one that I played, and I look at that from a graphics, a gameplay, and fucking living up to every expectation and exceeding it and being fun as fuck doing it was Astrobot. So that's why Astrobot is my game of the year, because it appeals to everybody. It's fun as hell. They did exactly what the Astrobot game that came with the PlayStation 5. One of the gripes that was in that original reviews from a lot of reviewers, it was really good. It had a lot of promise, but it was too short. I think they delivered on that by making the game much, much longer, expanding on the levels, doing everything basically a good Mario game has always done. But obviously, the coolest thing too, and I think a lot of us, especially as old school PlayStation guys, is just all the throwbacks, right? The throwbacks, the stuff that the characters, some of the level designs, the shit that you find in the level. That's the stuff to me is like, yeah, we're playing a game, but look at all the love. Look at all the PlayStation love scattered throughout. You know, to get these characters that were once famous PlayStation characters and have them in the game at some capacity, you know, done up in their cute little, and even doing the levels. Like the God of War level in that fucking game is awesome, right? Like, how can you not love that? Going around, you get your little Kratos beard on and shit, and you're just fucking going around and freezing shit. You know what I mean? Like, that was awesome, dude. Like, nobody bought Astrobot. Well, I certainly did, and I think a lot of people did. May not have sold as well as Sony had hoped, or people would have hoped, but I certainly did my part, and I think a lot of people here did. I'm pretty sure Doug's got. Look at that. He's got multiple. Perry's got multiple. Doug. Who the fuck's Doug? Perry's got multiple copies. Proto, I think you said you have it. I think Batman, you said you've been playing it. So you got a full panel here that have got the game. So and it ain't on no fucking Game Pass. I'll tell you that. You know, it's not on a free-to-play service. So people, if they want it, they'd have to play it.
Oh, by any chance, did anybody find
Xbox would have fucking played it regardless? You'd still be playing Fortnite.
And in the video game Retrobots, did anybody find the little patch guy from the little from Little Big Planet, the little doll guy?
Oh yeah, Sackboy.
Yeah, Sackboy. There you
go. I don't know. I don't know if I'm far enough in the game. I don't think I've found him yet, but I've found a shit ton of characters. I'm only about 50-60% of the way through the game so far. Oh yeah, like Stevie Mac says, there's free DLC coming out on top of it. Should be out here pretty soon. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean, kind of shoots that whole narrative. Yeah, it may not have sold as well as they wanted it to, but it doesn't mean nobody bought it and nobody played it.
What would you guys say would have been probably the surprise hit this year? And same with you guys in the chat. What's been the surprise hit? A game that came out this year that kind of exceeded expectations and been like a huge surprise for everybody in general and for the media. I'm not going to say Astrobot because like I think we kind of expected that game to be good and we expect it to be one of the hits of the year regardless of its ratings, but something that really fucking wow, that came out of left field and was good. And anybody have one that kind of stands out to you this year? Batman, anything to you that you recall that sort of came out of left field and you went, wow?
No.
Mag in the chat says Stellar Blade, and he might be right. Stellar Blade, I think there was high expectations, but the fact that it came, I think this is the first game by this studio, if my memory serves me correct. I think a Korean studio or whatever that made it. And to come out and be as big of a hit as it was, and for them also to come out and stay the course. And what I mean by that is they didn't water down their costumes or their characters or anything else to fit some stupid fucking narrative. Like they came out and made a game that obviously people wanted to play. Guys in general obviously wanted to play it. I get it. I mean, heck, I'm a guy. I'd rather play as a sexy babe any day of the week than some bimboed out fucking Dingledorf we're starting to see in all the Western culture games. Like every fucking lady looks like he went in and got fucking plastic ugly surgery. Their jaws are all massive and fucking nobody's like, whatever happened. It's okay for a female to be powerful and fucking sexy. They don't know how to look like they got hit by a truck. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but that's where I find it. stand on that hill.
No, I definitely agree with you. We talked about this before, where I said it's all, you know, for me, it's always about the how the character is handled and written. But you know, yeah, the whole pushback against it being, you know, you can't look like, you know, a certain way. You can't be the sexy chick. You got to be the, you know, to be a strong woman, you know, character represented in a game, you have to look the part. It's like, no, you don't.
Well, apparently even fucking Netflix has now kind of fucking gone over and made Lara Croft look a bit fucking odd in that new animated cartoon.
Yeah, but that's Lara Croft, though. I mean,
Lara Croft is like one of the hotter fucking game chicks that's ever been out there. What are they going to water her down for? Right?
And once Angelina Jolie got a hold of it, I mean,
well, I'll agree with you there. There's Alicia Vikander was good and all, but she didn't hold a candle to Angelina.
Yeah.
Netflix, the woke studio. Yeah. Gameplay and storytelling are your two main things, as they should be the two main things. But I mean, at the same time, right? Lara Croft has smaller tits than me, says the mag. Yeah, she went from having big ass pointy tits to having fairly big tits to really small tits, and then all of a sudden no tits. I don't know what's going on.
It's a war against tits.
It's a war against tits. I like tits.
Who doesn't?
Well, I'm pretty sure the PC guys will mod the fuck out of them. Should have these big old massive ones here or something. Just bouncing around. I love PC mods. Sometimes they're great.
They are hilarious.
Fuck, you'd be like wearing like half naked shit. You know, it's crazy.
Like the old Mortal Kombat jiggle physics back with Deadly Alliance.
Oh yeah.
That was
no fucking jiggle physics now unless you're jiggling a pair of fucking golf balls or something.
God, I'm swinging.
The voice actors have the biggest tits ever.
They're huge.
Batman, what's going on, man? Are we driving you nuts with all the titty conversation down there? What's going on? Are you gonna have to lay down the law? Are you coming down to get rid of all of us perverts on here or what?
No, just cracking up.
He's just taking it in.
No wonder we call him the silent assassin. Batman's over there in the dark, just creeping. I'm Batman. I love listening to conversations about tits.
Sounds like him.
I can't say that in public.
I have to keep that quiet.
That's right. I can't admit that I'm a pervert. I have to do that behind silent doors.
I have to be the hero they deserve, not the one they needed.
Rachel, I left my dildo at home. Oh, shut Attractophobia. Now there's a good game.
I think I saw that movie once.
No, but it's funny. Like, you know, you look at all the Japanese and the Asian culture, and their games are still like, you know, somewhat attract. I mean, I guess attraction is all in the eye of the beholder. And I'm not asking for every single female to come out and be like, you know, they got to look like they don't belong in a game. Like, some people want to see some sense of realism too, but like, my Lord, I mean, look at the original fucking characters in the Fable games were more attractive than the girl they're using now. Like, you know, and they were stylized graphics, and some of them were fucking far better looking.
Yeah. That new one looks like she was hit with a few trees or something.
She looks like the offspring of fucking Abby and a fucking tree stump. You know what I mean? Like if Abby from The Last of Us 2 had a kid with a tree stump, that's what we got there.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
He probably has all of the personality of a stump too.
And then you look at the best part is when they show the character models. This is who the person was based off, and then you look at them and go, "What the fuck?" You're like, the person who was based on the model was actually pretty damn good looking. How did you screw that up? You know what I mean?
This is true. This is definitely true.
You know, if gamers really wanted to see, you know, spend 8 hours a day seeing chicks that were very non-appealing, we just go down and hang out in the video game section next to Walmart.
or you go to your local dive bar at fucking 2 in the morning.
There's so many massive people riding around on their fucking scooters in Walmart. You could basically should set up a Mario Kart track in there now.
You get to the point where you want to blue shell half of them.
Right? Fuck. Oh, Abby's hand jobs are epic with those biceps. No doubt.
I think they'd be over too fast.
Right?
Yeah, wouldn't be enjoyable.
Golf club. That's all we know about Abby. Don't give her a golf club.
Yeah, no golf club.
You don't want to tee her off.
Ah! I got that pun.
Hey, how big does a penis have to be for Abby to like it? 4. Oh man.
God.
Oh shit. RWK's Abby riding his tractor.
She broke his tractor.
She rode it hard, broke it, and then put it away. Said she didn't do anything.
So anyway, getting back to surprise games of the year, does anybody have anything that stood out to them? I mean, I'll just come up really quick, and then you guys can answer. But I will say that as far as the free-to-play stuff, the X-Defiant game was actually a lot better than I expected it to be. Actually, I had quite a bit of fun with that. So as far as a shooter this year that I think hits a little bit of the win scale for me, it had to be that one. And there's been a lot of that shit come out. That was that other one that came out too. What was it called? It was like a game show one, and you play like 3 people. Did anybody remember that one?
Oh God, I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember it now.
Heist or something like that. You had to steal the loot, and all the teams would be running back. But that one was okay. But X-Defiant I thought was pretty cool.
Okay, yeah. Now it's going to bother me that one you just mentioned, though. I can't fucking think of it, man. But yeah, no. Yeah, X-Defiant's a good one.
Batman, we're relying on you, your infinite source of wisdom.
But I'll tell you, for me, man,
Batman, answer the question.
Sorry, the Riddler has hacked my computer.
Somebody in the chat knows which fucking game we're talking about because I'm ringing a bell. But you know, it's a shooter, but like a game show thing. You had to fucking steal the loot and then carry it to the fucking spawn points.
Yeah, fuck, that's gonna bother me. God damn it.
Finals, yes, thank God somebody here.
The finals. There it is.
There we go. RJ in there, the finals. Yeah, that was okay. My problem with all those fucking games that I'm playing is I want to play them with friends. I'm tired of fucking randoms. Most of the people don't communicate. Half the people show up to the game never played it before and have no idea how to play anything remotely fucking objective based. Everybody plays it like team deathmatch, and you're like, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that and the randos you run into. You know, you run into the randos too. It just fucking team kill you if they saw you because you're not part of their little group.
Right.
You know, and that's what drives me nuts about it. But to go back to your original question, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, and I'm gonna stand by it, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. But for me, that was Helldivers 2. I was shocked. Everybody was talking it up. All my buddies were talking it up. And I'm like, all right, let me check it out. $40 ain't bad. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. That was definitely it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, especially from a multiplayer perspective. I mean, Sony needed kind of a bit of a win there, and they definitely got some of it with that game. And then, of course, much as that game moved the needle high, Concord came out and blew it completely low.
Yeah, it did. It set the bar so low.
I feel bad talking about Concord because I never actually played it. But honestly, I didn't even want to play it after I watched the videos on it, and I also watched all the DEI fucking bullshit and how the developer guy, come out and started shitting on people. I was like, well, you know what? Now I'm definitely out. Whenever a developer opens his damn mouth and starts shitting on fans, period, I'm like, you know what? You could take your game and stick it right up your asshole.
Oh, yeah, I was right there, too, because when I'd seen stuff for it, I'm like, you know what? I played Overwatch. I don't want to play Overwatch Lite. You know, it's not my bag. But then, yeah, you get a dev coming out there saying, oh, well, you know, just crapping all over everybody. Just awful shit, too. like even with valid criticisms, and he's just, oh, you don't like it because you're X, Y, and Z. No, it's you don't like your game because your game sucks.
I'll also make it with some fucking characters that are actually fucking appealing. Like again, if I wanted to have a character that looked like somebody that was riding a Walmart scooter, you know what I mean? Jesus.
And again, out comes Blue Shells. Bam!
Dude, you should fucking so make a video. You go to Walmart and just go make a fake blue shell, and somebody fucking is riding in front of you in the store, and then toss it at them. What the hell is that?
Man.
Laughing.
I may have to make this a thing. I'll have to see if the wife would be down to let me do something completely ridiculous. I may end up arrested.
All you gotta do is get like a tinfoil ball and paint it blue, make it look like a turtle shell, and then just fucking bowl it right up the alley and right at the back of the cart. Fucking start laughing. Nobody but Mario Kart fans will even get the reference. You know what I mean?
No, they wouldn't, but it would be totally worth it.
Fucking funny, man. I'm sorry, but you were in the lead, and that's it. Just leave it at that.
It's called rubber band physics. Get used to it. I'm so gonna do this. You guys have just plotted me getting arrested next week.
Oh man! Something happened. It hits the back of their cart, and you just like they don't even ever fucking know. You know, like it just hits their cart, and it just you'll be laughing to kill yourself, but it just be funny.
No, see, my luck is I'd throw it, and then all of a sudden, as they'd go to turn, I'd like dive my fat ass down the next aisle, and then I'd break my hip. Well, so then not only would I be in cuffs, I'd also be in a stretcher.
And they wiped out and tipped over.
Yep. And then it'll be playing all over Chicago news. Crazed fat white guy bombs blue shells at people in shopping carts. News at 11. And I was doing it for the laughs.
Yeah.
Gamers get it.
Sorry, lady. I just dropped my package and I kicked it with my foot by mistake. There you
go. Oops. Wall cart. Yes, Barry. Wall cart.
That's awesome. Wall cart. We got a new game going here, guys. Wall cart.
Oh my god. I so want to get on one of those shopping carts now just to do this. You guys. I'm gonna
effects and stuff to the video. That'd be awesome.
Oh man. Maybe I could do that on Halloween dressed up as Jason Voorhees. That would be even funnier.
Oh, dressed as Mario.
Well, I don't have a Mario costume. Oh, now I'm gonna have to get a Mario costume. Damn it! All right,
just walk in, yeah. Just walk in the Mario costume, and just tossing this blue thing up the aisles.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna end up doing it. I'm gonna end up doing it.
Go down to the produce department and eat the banana and drop the peels on the floor.
Or I get someone else to drop the banana peel, and then I spin the cart.
Every time she gets behind you, you just drop the banana.
Yeah. Oh man.
Perry, how about yourself, man? He said Helldivers 2. Would that be one of your sort of sleeper hits? I guess it wasn't really a sleeper hit, but would you say one of the more surprising hits of the year, or something else came along and kind of blew that away? I mean, to some degree, Silent Hill 2 is going to be a hit, but we kind of expected it to be somewhat of a popular game because it is based on obviously it's a remake of a very popular old game.
Right. I would say, like you guys said, Astrobot. To me, I didn't think that was going to be worth the money, and it totally was. So that was a sleeper for me as well. Helldivers 2. Again, I played the first one for like 5 seconds. When I heard the second one was coming out, I was like, that game sucks. I was wrong, completely wrong. I ran out and bought a bunch of copies. I gave a copy to my brother, my cousin, everybody, like Frank in the chat room. Like, we all got Helldivers 2. We LAN partied it together in the same room. Like,
well, that's awesome.
Yeah, we had fun, man. Helldivers 2 was great earlier this year. So, So I would say Astrobot, Helldivers 2. And I haven't touched Stellar Blade or Rebirth yet, but I'm sure those are sleeper. And, Hellblade 2. I mean, I never played the first Hellblade. I played maybe like 5 minutes of it. It wasn't like getting to me. I played Hellblade 2 this year on Game Pass, and I beat the whole game. I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Like I don't consider Hellblade necessarily be like what do you call it, like a surprise hit? Because I think we expected to be successful to a certain degree. I mean, it was based on a very successful first game. I think if anything, it was the game that came out that may have been one of the most disappointing games. Like again, don't get me wrong. I think Hellblade is an incredible game. Hellblade 2, it's an incredible game. It's definitely worth people's time and your effort to play it. But I also feel that, because it took more money to make the game, because it's on a newer engine, like it's still a fairly short game. It's still, I don't know, there was still a lot of things about the game. It was just kind of like, I don't know, like I felt like the combat improved in some departments, but kind of took a couple of steps back. I felt like I was, as much as I loved it, I kind of didn't like it. And I don't necessarily think I liked it more than the first game, which is weird as that sounds. The only upside was at least the little puzzles they had in this game weren't quite as frustrating perhaps as the original game's puzzles, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just coming from somebody who didn't really play the first game. So, like I said, I only played like 5 minutes of it. And like she's getting off the boat and I'm hearing a bunch of voice. I'm like, turn this shit off. That was the first game. The second game was a little bit better, but
it's like I don't
for me.
Fucking ear. My wife does that enough as it is. Jesus. You're like, no, I can't. Her voice in my head, my wife's voice is in my head, and I can't tell who's asking me to give head. What's going on? First game, she's carrying around a head on her waist. You don't talk to her. Yeah, puzzles. Well, Spider-Man's in the chat, and he knows how much I love puzzles. I didn't struggle too badly with the ones in the second game. There was that visual puzzle in the first game where you had to line up the freaking
rooms,
the trees.
Yeah, the trees in the rooms.
You had to walk through one gate because you had to see it from a different view, so you had to find the right angles. Otherwise, it didn't line up, and that one was fucking But nothing was worse than those damn alien puzzles in the Mass Effect Andromeda game. Spider-Man can tell you that. I streamed it. That's where I met Spider-Man, was streaming the Mass Effect Andromeda, and he had a good laugh at me because I'd be there for fucking ever trying to figure out those damn puzzles in that game. Oh my god.
Was that rough, huh?
Oh, Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh, some of those were just God. These alien symbols, you had to line up and do whatever. That game was just, I swore at that one a lot. Got through it though, but took a lot of effort, a lot of persistence. By the way, guys, I can tell you this. Speaking of Mass Effect, I did talk to what's his name here? Victor Lucas. He's the big video game guru up here in Canada. And I did ask him, I asked him because he obviously is behind the scenes talking with the BioWare developer. And he said, he did tell me this. He said that Mass Effect is still a long ways out. So I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but that's what he told me at the show. I was like, oh, that's disappointing because I figured they'd be a couple years in by now, but it sounds like they still got a long ways to go. And if the Veilguard does not do well for BioWare, this could spell big trouble for them.
Ooh.
Yep.
And that's something you hate to see, where if it's a project that's hinging on the success of an unrelated project, because of money and shit, that sucks.
Yep. Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, the Veilguard was made out here, BioWare Edmonton. I think I'm guessing that the new Mass Effect is also being made by the team of BioWare Edmonton. I do believe, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, because BioWare hasn't had a lot of hits in the last couple of years. I mean, obviously they made the Mass Effect trilogy remake or remaster, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I think it was kind of a remake, but that was awesome. But I mean, that's an old game, right? It's a collection of old games, so that doesn't really count. But as far as a hit, I mean, what was the last big BioWare hit? Mass Effect 3?
Yeah, something like that.
After 3, I don't think Anthem came out. That bombed. BioWare game that kind of bombed. Well, yeah. Well, Andromeda didn't do overly well, so that was 2 in a row, right?
Yeah.
So that was 2 games in a row that came out to sort of like lower than expectations. I'm pretty sure there was something else too that BioWare had that we weren't fussy about, but I'm trying to draw on straws. I don't know. I'm kind of stupid tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me here. Mass Effect was good. Mass Effect 1 was amazing. Batman yourself, did you I don't know if I asked you, did you pick a game that was a big surprise to you this year?
The same 2 that Perry chose. Those were pretty good games.
Sorry, which ones?
What was it? Was it Helldivers 2?
Helldivers 2, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree. A lot of us didn't really know what to expect from Helldivers, and it came out and did a lot more money, and certainly was a bigger hit right out the gate than most people had anticipated. And it was definitely a lot of fun to play with friends. I was playing last night with one of my friends on the PlayStation, and we were having a great time. And like I said, it's a great co-op game with friends, and it looks pretty good. Plays pretty damn good on my Portal too, I might add. So that's always a bonus. Yeah, so that's definitely one of them. Anybody in the chat, anything stick out to you this year? Maybe it was an indie game that you played that wasn't really high on the radar, but but left a lasting impression. Like, man, that was really good. There was a game that I played on Game Pass, but I think it was probably closer to last year when I played it. That was fucking phenomenal. It was a little indie game, and you played this little dude that got to go find his sister, and you're in the woods, and there's this witch chasing you and shit. I'm trying to remember which game that is.
God, I know what you're talking about too. That's another one that I just can't remember the damn name of.
I downloaded it on Game Pass, played it, beat it, and loved every minute of it. It was so good. That's like I'm going back right now, and I'm playing an older indie game that Cool Cat Terry referred to me. It was part of her indie spotlight on Good Morning Xbox. Shout out to Axel on Good Morning Xbox, by the way. And that was Lost in Random. So it was on sale a while ago, so I finally picked up a copy of it, and that's a fantastic little indie game as well. I love the art style in it. The combat is kind of fun and different. Yeah, really cool little game, actually. Well, it's an older game. It's a couple years older, but apparently they've been greenlit for a sequel, so which is good.
Well, that's always a good thing, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What was another game they just announced there's going to be a sequel to that people didn't think there was going to be one too? Man, my memory's just shot tonight. I don't know what the hell is wrong with tonight. I think I need an energy drink. I think I'm just burning out here. It's getting hot in here too. What is going on? My name is Captain Kelch. Good to see you in the chat. He says you like Pacific Drive. Really good game.
That's definitely something I need to look into then.
Cool. All right. Yes, Alien. Yes, thank you, Stevie Mac. Yes, Alien Isolation 2. Sega announced that they're making a sequel to it. Fantastic announcement. Yeah. Good job, Sega. Speaking of, Sega's got a bunch of games in the work. Apparently, there's a new Shinobi coming, but unfortunately, Shinobi is going to be like a 2D, 3D game. So side scrolling game again. I was hoping more for like a 3D Ninja Gaiden style game this time, but apparently not.
See, I'd be all over that.
But they're actually making a live action movie Shinobi, which I'm super excited about.
Wow. That I didn't fucking hear about.
Yeah, me neither. Coming. Sega announced it. Yeah, it's a live action movie coming.
Because that's a franchise I freaking love too, Shinobi. And you mentioned like I like the idea of the hybrid 2D 3D 2.5D whatever for Shinobi. That'd be cool. But like you said, like getting like a Ninja Gaiden style one, the newer Ninja Gaiden style ones I'm obviously referring to because the PS2 Shinobi game was like that, and that game was tough as nails, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's one of the few Shinobi games I never did play. It was a PS2 one.
I
remember videos stuff like that in the reviews, but I never did get around to playing that one.
Oh man, if you get the chance, just know the helicopter boss fight. Yeah.
I like playing the original Shinobi game from the arcade just for the star throwing scenes. I love those.
Oh hell yeah, man! I'd take a Master System just to play that.
I had that on Master System too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I fucking love the Master System.
Yeah, and then Revenge.
Then you got Shinobi 3 on
For My World
on Genesis.
This game is amazing.
I've got all but I think because I even have like the Game Boy Advance Revenge of Shinobi. I think there was like because I don't have the Sega Saturn Shinobi game that they had released. I don't have that one. And I want to say they did another one, but they put one out. I believe it was either on DS or 3DS.
Saturn Shinobi was wow. That was Shinobi Legends, and that one was done with 3D digitized graphics. That was amazing, and it had those cutscenes in it too. Those full motion video cutscenes.
Oh, was that the Sega Saturn one?
Huh?
Was that the Sega Saturn one?
Sega Saturn, yeah. Shinobi Legends.
That's what it was called.
You know what's weird about the Sega Saturn version? All 3 different regions have different soundtracks.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot of retro guys, they collect all 3 versions of that game. Just for the music.
Yeah, that game was super cool. I love that. It was like, the digitized graphics were just wild. It looked so good at the time. That was like the digitized Road Rash when it came out to like the 3DO and then the Sega Saturn shit looked so cool.
Oh, yeah. Another franchise that needs to come back, Road Rash.
Oh, amen to that.
Yeah.
I mean, they've tried knockoff games, but we want a real Road Rash with some real
for sure.
Music, you know what I mean? And they should open it up with Angry Cage again from Saturn.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. That's a because that's what that game opened up to, wasn't it? It was at the that one, right?
Rusty Cage, Soundgarden.
Rusty Cage, yeah, Rusty Cage.
Yeah, Rusty Cage, yeah.
Did I say Angry Cage?
Yes, you did. I knew what you meant, and then it took me a second. When you started, I'm like, okay, no, I know what you meant, and then you start humming the riff. Yeah,
my brain's all over the place tonight. It's Angry Chair by Alice in Chains,
Yeah. It's fine. They're adjacent. It's okay. And then sooner or later in the comments, 1,000 angry Alice in Chains fan. Fuck you.
Let's move along. I guess real quickly before we get ready to close the show, is there any topics anybody wants to bring up? Anything that's newsworthy that anyone wants to share with us? Do you have anything on your end, Batman, that you'd like to bring to the table or talk about tonight?
No, I mean, just don't think I was going to talk about the because you guys were talking about Shinobi and all that stuff. I remember back in high school, a buddy of mine, he would mod those games into the computers in the lab, and we'd play those games all the time back in the day.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Shinobi, man, it's classic. Yeah, they need to bring that back. Indeed. So yeah, it's good to see, like I said, a new game coming and even a movie in the works. So that's fantastic. So cool stuff.
That movie's got me interested.
Harry, any further topics? Anything news noteworthy?
Because I saw. I'm sorry. Perry, you go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead.
Because I'd seen it in the chat, and I remember mentioning it in our messaging before the show. I guess it was Dino Crisis is up on the PSN network now.
Oh, right.
For download, but somebody here said it was locked behind a paywall, so I got to look more into that.
Yeah, Anthony said it was locked.
Yeah, for him to make a remake of that one, but so far it's been crickets.
The thing with Dino Crisis being locked behind a paywall, PlayStation is like, if you bought some of these on PlayStation 3, some of your purchases are playable already on your account on PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
But this game and I think the original Resident Evil Director's Cut are both locked behind PSN.
Huh.
So if you bought like Siphon Filter 1 and 2 or whatever, if you bought them on PS3, you can play them on your PS5, no problem. You can just download them off your account. But if you bought, Resident Evil or Dino Crisis on your PS3, they are locked behind the paywall on the PS5. So nobody knows what's going on.
And that's some shady dealings, man. That's shit.
That's not cool. No way.
Yeah, right. Seems like only Capcom gives you games you can't buy.
I want you to buy them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wish everything was just as simple as the movie industry, right? Like you got a DVD from fucking, from a movie that came out in the 80s and you can still play it on any DVD player or any movie player today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No bullshit. You got one license. It's on the disc. You pop it in and go. You know, like that's the way it should be. When entertainment gets that way across the board, it'll be a good fucking day. Because this recharging people for old fucking games that people already bought and paid for, it's just ridiculous. No, you're absolutely right, Spider-Man. We own fucking nothing. As a matter of fact, last time I checked, I don't even own my penis. I think it belongs to the government.
It's in my wife's purse somewhere.
You get taxed by the inch. That's a good thing, because I won't get taxed very long. All right,
eventually.
Close the show. It's been another dynamite episode 3 of the relaunch of Gaming After Dark. So good to be back. And guys, like I said, I won't be here next week, so there will be no show next Tuesday. We'll take a quick break, and we're going to come back at the end of the month, which I think is on the 29th. And that will be our special Halloween episode. So for all my panel members and to everybody in the chat, make sure that you got your Halloween specific questions. If you want to wear a costume, I don't care what you want to do, but it'll be our Halloween themes. We're talking about horror games and the genre in general, and the hits and the misses and everything in between. We'll have a fun night for sure. We might even talk about some of our favorite horror flicks over the years. I'm sure everybody has a few favorites, so make sure you compile your lists and get those ready on the end of the month. It'll be a good time, and for sure for that episode. But before we go, it wouldn't be a Gaming After Dark without the question period. Now it is your time to get your question ready for either Arnold, Safehouse Sam, or Cletus. They are on standby. So go ahead and drop them in the chat. Anybody here on the panel have anything that you'd like to ask one of those three guys? That's Safehouse or Cletus.
I got something from RWK from earlier. I'm going to paste that in the chat room. So RWK88 said earlier, this is a question for Arnold. They should make God of Horrors and let Arnold's maids be the main character.
But that's not a question. That's a statement. I don't even know how to answer it. And of course, I'm going to agree with this statement. I think it's phenomenal. But I mean, there's what did they call it? The maid of whore. Made of whores. Made of whores? Yes. Well, of course, the maid of whores. And I love the maid of whores. I'm going to have them all. But that's all I'm going to say. This I'm going to give it new meaning to the word quick time event. It's going to be super fast, hard, and awesome. You don't want to miss it. All right, we got some questions coming in here. Let's see. Okay. That was from earlier. We got Dreadpool.
Arnold, what do you think about next week's horror games?
When it's up and down the horse tonight, you know that I'm innocent and pure. I don't need other whores. I've got a couple of maids. I've got a donkey, all of that stuff. Either which way, I'm going to get some ass. But I don't need. No, I want to go back to making more great movies. I mean, what we're going to have, the Sperminator. I want to rather be in the Sperminator than in some kind of horror movie. So we could have. You could have. Instead of being Sarah Connor, I'm going to be chasing Sarah Twatter. I'm Sarah Twatter. Where are you? I'm the Sperminator. I'm coming here to impregnate you right now. I'm going to send your little bitch-ass kid into the future, and he's going to change everything for us. He's going to give all the ladies gigantic tits and asses, and we're going to love it all. That is going to be the new society. There'll be no more ugly chick video games, only super sexy-ass bitches.
All right, we got a couple more here. Do we want to learn online? Oh, here we go.
Go ahead, Perry.
Arnold will. What does it say? I guess he's saying Jeff Keighley. Arnold, will Jeff Keighley spread Kojima's ass cheeks like Moses did with the Red Sea? What the hell? What the hell is that? I think he's already done that.
Of course, because Jeff has already spread his ass cheeks in some biblical proportions. Honest to God, if you look at Jeff Keighley's asshole right now, there's already the Red Sea. You can see that the man is not well. That's what it's doing here. No, this craziness. Craziness is what it is. Those two guys, they've definitely got something on. I can't understand it. I can't, I can't even describe it, but I do know that those guys have got very tight, warm assholes, and they've been pounding each other for years. Oh,
Frank.
we got Stevie Mac with the question. This one goes for Cletus.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
where is it? Oh, I got to scroll past. Stevie Mac.
That's the one I was just looking for, too.
Cletus, can you help RWK fix his tractor?
Well, he's fitting the Cletus here, and I can help anybody fix their tractor. I'm a massive tractor. I'm a tractor professional. That's what I am. You know what? You know something? Here's a joke for you. If a tractor had a penis, what would it do to get excited? If a tractor had a penis, what would it do to get excited? It would have a tractor pool. Yeah. I'm gonna spit up my last toot on that one. All right, that's a good. But how did y'all get down? There's a good crowd here. Now to see you guys even went out and pulled in the superstars. You even brought Batman into the conversation tonight. How you doing, Batman? Holy fuck, man! Let me tell you, you're a man of few fucking words. I'll tell you that. I don't know if you got something going on. Maybe Robin is down low and he's sucking off your plumbing. But we're glad you came on the show regardless, because you kept all the law and order around here. You kept all the idiots off of the side. So you did a good job, Batman. Good stuff on you. Anyway, I'm going to let you go back and throbbing Robin there. He's going to get you Nabahama.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Arnold something. Did you ever come back, Arnold, as Mr. Freeze and with Dan DeVito make twins, but you as Mr. Freeze and Dan DeVito as the Penguin?
I've been wanting to do a sequel with Danny DeVito for years because he's getting very old and he's getting shorter by the minute, And then I'm gonna come back. We're gonna do twins, and I'm gonna be Mr. Freeze, and we're gonna put our sperm bank in the cryo chamber, and we're gonna save our semen forever, and then we're gonna open it up in the future. And he's gonna come out with a giant set of great big feet and a little tiny penis, and we're gonna call him Danny DeVito. That's what it's going to be. Yes, he's going to come out here, and he's going to look like a little troll. He's going to look like one of those garden gnomes going around twiddling, twaddling.
Arnold, how does one twaddle?
How does you twaddle? You know what? You know how you twaddle? What you need to do is get between your woman's legs and blow on her pussy lips real quick, and you're going to see what the twaddle is all about.
Do you use a dual sense drive for that, Arnold?
What?
Do you use the dual sense? You got to blow into the dual sense.
Oh, I love the dual sense. One in the front, one in the back. We're going to hit it hard till you're going to hear the crack. Touch the touchpad to blow into the mic. We're going to blow on it so hard we're going to stay up all night. PlayStation does it. PlayStation does it good. I'm going to give you a dual sense because it's going to give me some hard wood.
that freestyle is going platinum.
Frank's got one. Frank says, Arnold, do you dress like Turbo Man when you do unspeakable things to the maids? Turbo Man?
Of course, the dress is Turbo Man. I mean, who doesn't want to be taken from behind by your ultimate hero? You're going to be Turbo Man. It's going to be the Terminator. It's going to be me from Commando. It's going to be Dutch from from Predator. I mean, you can pick any one of the characters I've done over the years, but I'm pretty sure you want to be done. Well, actually, honestly, most of the ladies said, don't be Turbo Man, because the last thing I want you to do is stick that in there and go faster. I want you to take a nice throw.
Do you put a jetpack on the maids?
Like T-800. You got to have your face melting off when you're coming for an orgasm.
You put a jetpack on the maids, Arnold?
We got one coming in via Super Chat. RWK, he drops $4.99.
Awesome show as always between Perry on Mondays and Noof on Tuesdays and Perry on Wednesdays every week is awesome. Keep it up, guys. Lover, the new guest, also. Oh, he likes
him because he's dressed in a sexy suit. It's Batman.
It's got the bat nipples. RWK's attracted to it. There you go.
Hey, that was Schumacher. That wasn't my idea.
But hey, at least you're getting love from somewhere.
You still put the costume on.
Wow, I'm getting sandwiched between Perry on Monday and Tuesday. Perry on the left of me, Perry on the right, Perry in the morning, and I'll be up all night. Oh man, cool stuff, guys. Awesome. Anyway, I guess that's going to round out the show. We've had a lot of fantastic questions. Awesome show. Huge thanks to our guest tonight. I'm glad we finally get him on the show here, and at some point we'll try to get him back when we got some dynamite conversations and topics and all that good stuff. I do apologize for my sort of brain tardiness tonight for whatever happened. I think I was dealing with the Silent Hill fog of my own. I felt like I was all over the place tonight, so I apologize to my panel and to our guests and to the chat. But regardless, I think we still had a great time and managed to have some fun conversations. So again, we're going to take a week off next week, but we'll be back the week after for Halloween specials. We lead into that weekend. You guys are amazing. This chat was incredible. Thank you so much for the love and support, for coming back and welcome me back, into the grand scheme of things in this community. I love doing this. I love this new panel, and I love where we're heading. And look at that. Speaking of love, coming in from the mag, he drops $5 before we close out the show. There you go, man. Take it away, Perry.
Oh, the mag says, love you guys. That's the super chat. LOL. Well, thank you.
Speaking of the mag, we got to get him back on at some point in time in the future, and definitely got to get his alter ego, Tony Baloney, on the show. This boy, Tony Baloney, I feel like he hasn't been around a lot in the last couple of years, and he's got a lot of pent-up energy, a lot to say, I'm sure. And it'd be great if we could get Tony Baloney on with Titan Drago, because those two always have a great time. But in the meantime, it's great to be here. Dreadpool's in the chat. Again, Dread, thanks for filling in last week. We had a great time with you here on the panel. And we'll see you guys again next week. Again, thanks, Batman. Batman, I guess we'll start with you, my brother. Geez Louise, look at me, I'm dying here. Batman, let people know where they can catch you, perhaps your channel, find you on social media and all that good stuff.
Yes, I have here on YouTube, I'm Batman.2. On Rumble, I'm the Bat3231. And then I believe, Perry, you have my Twitter, right?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I follow you on Twitter, but I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, because I lost my old one. I had to make a new one.
Yeah, I'm on the new one.
Okay. But I'm on Twitter though too. I'll see if I can post that out for you guys.
That'll work, 'cause I'd like to give you a follow.
Just a shout out as well to Axel, our good friend in the chat. Iconic Video Games is his name coming up here, guys. If you're not following Axel, please do so. Him and Cool Cat Terry still run an awesome little podcast on Sunday mornings, one that I used to be the host of for a long time. They have carried the mantle ever since and have done a heck of a great job. Unfortunately, I don't get to catch it as often as I like on Sundays, but it is the Good Morning Xbox show, and that usually takes place at 9 Eastern, 7 Mountain Time. So go check them out on Axel's channel, Iconic Video Games. And don't forget him and Doggy Dog, as well as Princess Zelda, Dreadpool's wife, Death Dealer, and sometimes Dread is on there. The Iconic Video Games podcast on Friday nights as well. Great little show. Definitely very unique style and delivery with that one. So go check that stuff out as well, man. It's good stuff. Newf Duke of Take Fagger before show helps the memory.
Got to put it somewhere.
On your blood pressure, though. Yes, that's the only place to work in this. That's the best place to work in this world, is at the Viagra factory, because you're bound to get a constant raise.
Yeah.
Mr. Game Complainers, obviously you got some more stuff coming up this week, so let people know where they can catch up with you and perhaps the next part of your Silent Hill stream.
I might do Silent Hill tonight, actually, after the show, but it depends, maybe in a little bit. Every Wednesday night on YouTube, the Game Complainers podcast, over at my channel, the Game Complainers. It's me, Anthony, Frank, and Fred. Every Wednesday night between 9:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. we try to go live. And every Monday we try to do. We have a new PlayStation podcast, Common Dual Sense. So that's actually doing pretty well. So we're doing those 2 shows, and that's Monday nights between 8:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern as well.
Cool, man. All right, we'll go catch them out, guys. Like I said, go catch out the Game Complainerz channel. If you're not already doing so, show them some love. Go show some support. They got some great tech videos as well as some great gameplay videos and the regular podcast where they, chirp all the hot topics like we've been doing here. So very fortunate to have them on this panel with us. And last but not least, we got Proto Foxy back in the building this week after a small hiatus. And it was good to have you back behind the microphone, sir. And let people know where they can catch up with you, at least on social media, if not anywhere else.
Well, first off, let me say thanks for everybody tuning in. The fucking chat was awesome. And again, I apologize for getting sick on y'all last week, and just glad to be back behind the mic and just going on and on about what we go on and on about. Y'all can find me YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. Just look up Proto Foxy, you'll find me. And you're on Xbox, Proto Foxy. You're on PlayStation Network. It's going to be Happy Emo Puncher. You'll more than likely see me playing Warframe. So that's what I'll be in. So if you guys play Warframe, come in, or trying to convince me to jump off, maybe I'll jump in on Helldivers 2 or something like that. Catch me wherever.
Absolutely. And guys, you know where to find me, always in the gutter. We're pretty much Nuke Nukem pretty much everywhere. It's Nuke Nukem 76 on PlayStation Network. Please, by all means, if you see me online, you want to play some games, whether it's a competitive multiplayer or just want to hang out, shoot the shit, play some co-op stuff. I love that, man. I'm down anytime. I don't care what the hell I'm playing. Just send me a message. Say, Neve, if you want to play a game, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say yes. No matter what I'm doing, unless probably watching a movie with the wife, I'm generally always down to game. Love getting game invites. Love jumping into chat with great people and having a great time, because that's at the end of the day, no matter how much bullshit we get on with here, gaming is all about making friends, having fun, taking your brains off of this stupid, weird-ass world that we live in, and just, like I said, an escape from the everyday grind. It's that's what it's all about, man. It's having fun, and there's no better time to be a gamer in most cases because there's so many games out there. So again, if you see me online, whether it's Xbox or Nintendo Switch, if you want to play on Switch, just let me know. Send me a message on Twitter. I'll send you my friend code or whatever the fuck you got to send over in that shit. I'll send you an envelope, all the fucking necessary information, and set up a time via old pager, all that sort of shit. I'll get out my fucking Nokia cell type phone. There you go, the Switch code right there. He's got it. He knows. But Abby, man, let's go fucking play. Let's get the community together, man, like it used to be. Like, it doesn't matter what you play on. I own them all, but everybody on this panel owns every fucking thing under the sun. We don't really care. We just want to have a good time. We want to play games. And this is all just a small part of the bullshit, just entertainment and talking about what's on our mind, really, right? Whether it's right or wrong, it's just all opinions, it's all jargon, but let's go play some fucking games, people. So again, you know where to find me. Send me a message and let's do it. We'll see you again next week. Again, thanks to Batman. You were awesome, dude. Appreciate you being here. I'll have a more organized show for you the next time you come, and I'm sure we'll have some dynamite topics as well. But again, to all the chat, you guys are fucking fantastic. And we will see you again soon. So you guys all have yourself a great night. Now, get off with this crap and go play some damn games. Woo! There it is. Later.